give that position to Reece Nelson to try. And then yesterday want to play, what's his name? Trossard. Don't play him inside me. If you play him by the wing, that is where he used to finish work for, at Brighton. Not people should send me to London. Do all you can. If working Gunners Hop is, you people should send me to North London. Let me grab Arteta by the neck. I will give me a dirty slap first, and then expect reasonable questions from him. So by the time I give him the next point, he will realize himself and know what to do. Yes. So that's all I'm asking for. Send me to North London. Let me mess him up so that he will sit up, because he needs someone to deal immensely with him. So you understand that he playing with our emotions. My darling Arsenal that I love so much, and Arteta, you are lucky I'm not in North London. What I would have used the chemistry of Upper job. Arteta, don't worry, I'll be there soon. Pray before I get there. You should not remain there. Another I'm asking for is, if he does not improve, I should be Arsenal coach. Let me take up that job. I know what to do. My days in the Wanyang, my days in Bende United and Bende Insurance.
Welcome back, familiar, to Northside LDN. Today we've got Arsenal 1, Everton 0, and I'll be completely honest with you. Big up to Views for the raid. Once again, this ain't looking good, bro. This is not looking good at all. Another game, another poor performance. Like this, we're not going to win the league. Eu vou ser sincero. Assim, a jogada assim, não vamos ganhar nenhuma merda. We are not winning anything playing like this. This is not tenable if you want to be champions. This is not good enough. Now, Man City got the win, absolutely slapped up West Ham. We had to get the win. Did we get the win? Yes. Look beyond the result and you look at that performance. And today, I'm sorry, once again, who really played that well today? Multiple poor performances, bro. Multiple players playing poor. I'm sorry, it's not good enough, bro. It's not good enough. I'm just going to be honest about it. Straight from the get-go, Zubimendi getting pushed by the Everton player, getting bodied, and then they're through straight on goal. What is that guy doing, bro? What is he doing? Not good enough, bro. Saka drifting everywhere in that first half. Sometimes on the left, sometimes in the middle, sometimes everywhere but right wing. I don't know what he was doing. His delivery as well was rubbish. Struggling to take on the fullback. Isso é uma merda, pá. Vamos ser sinceros. Vamos dizer como é que é. Não vamos estar aqui, não vamos mentir. Let's just talk honestly right now. Not good enough from Saka, man. Getting bodied, decision making not good enough. I'm sorry, this is poor, man. This is against Everton. It's against Everton. For this, it's not good enough, man. It's not good enough. Zubimendi with a shot that went straight over the bar. This guy, bro, he don't travel with the ball. He doesn't help us progress. He doesn't help us kick on and start a counter-attack. He's out of position all the time defensively. I've told, man, all the filhos da puta that wanted to tell me that this guy, yeah, is better than Partey. I'm sorry, you guys don't want for Maliamba. You man are smoking, you're smoking the highest of the high. I'm sorry, Zubimendi is not good enough, bro. Not good enough. Not good enough. Do you know what I'm saying? The one time Ødegaard gives Gyökeres service, it's the service that he doesn't want. Crosses in the box. Headers on goal. That's not where he thrives. That's not where he thrives. When he's making the run, arranca the bola, pa. Arranca bola. Instead, the guy's taken too long to make the pass, too long to find Gyökeres. This ain't good enough. This is supposed to be the creative spark. Creative spark. Not good enough, bro. Not good enough. Gyökeres had a header that went wide. Do you know what I'm saying? Calafiori, obviously we get the penalty. I don't know what my man was doing. What was it? O'Brien or whatever his name is for Everton. I don't know what he was doing, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he was doing for the penalty. And if it wasn't for the penalty, bro, we had 2 shots on target. One of them was the goal. One of them was the penalty. Against Everton, the bad form is continuing. This is not just one performance where we're bad. We've against Fulham already this season. West Ham. Liverpool, Man City already played. That was earlier in the season. We played bad against Wolves. We played bad against Villa. Played poor against Chelsea. Played poor against Sunderland. You can't sustain this bucaria, bro. If you want to be champions, if you want to just want to get Champions League spot, then yeah, tá bom. Continuamos nesta merda. Continuamos com essa merda. But if you want to win something, you want to know something, you want to win something, it's not going to be like this. It's not going to be like this. I got deja vu. I've seen this story before. I'm not even angry. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed because this manager could prove me wrong this season, but he's proven me right again. He's proven me right again. Struggling to beat Everton. Yeah, we hit the post 2 times. So what? During the whole game, we were the team. We looked like there was no urgency. We weren't cooking them. We had 1 or 2 little chances. We're gonna get certain chances. It's Everton. But all in all, we weren't great. We didn't start the second half great. Parts of that first half as well, we looked lackadaisy, allowing Everton to press, allowing them to get certain chances. This is not good, man. This was not a good performance. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I saw Gyökeres in the first half making runs, nobody finding him. The most embarrassing thing is our centre-back is the one that's giving him the best chances. Our centre-back, Saliba's the one that played a ball through and Gyökeres was through on goal. And then it was a good block by the Everton player. Why is our centre-back understanding how Gyökeres wants to receive the ball, but our number 10 don't? Our right winger doesn't. Our left winger doesn't. Our centre-back is providing Gyökeres the best opportunity. This is ridiculous. What about that pass on the counter-attack, Ødegaard? Gyökeres is making the run, waiting for the ball. Ødegaard taking his time. I do more that. Instead of arrancar bola. Then by the time he plays Gyökeres through, he's been asking for it for 45 minutes. Man's on a counter-attack, pass the ball. What does he do? Play it behind him. And it's supposed to be our captain. And you think we're going to win something like this? You can't even give a simple through ball to Gyökeres, but yet Saliba can. But our number 10, Ødegaard, can't. You're under-hitting the pass. Epa, esquece, arrumas malas, arrumas merdas, forget it, bro. Playing like this, forget it. We'll get Champions League spot, we'll get top 4, but this manager ain't getting us over the line. Forget the Champions. People say, oh, we're going to Champions League in the bag, Prem's in the bag. Oh, we ain't doing that. I don't even see us winning the Carabao. Not playing like this. And the reason why I'm annoyed is because there's the quality in this team to be able to play much better than what we're seeing. But what is it with this manager? Inconsistencies. For all the good performances, you can look at the North London derby. You can look at how we played against Atletico, how we played against Bayern. For all those results, we've got a bag of these kind of results. And with inconsistency, you ain't going to win the league. You're the same pucaria that we had from the previous seasons. This is, I'm tired of this, bro. I'm literally tired of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of it. It's embarrassing that our centre-back is playing through. It's actually providing more for our striker than our midfield and our attack. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Why all the times our centre-backs also got to, not only do they have to defend, but now they have to take on players and find pockets of space, play through the midfield and find pockets of space to find the striker. What kind of tactics is this? What is this? You think that's sustainable? It's not sustainable. This manager's had a long time to get this right, man. You've had 6 years. You had a pre-season to get this right. And we've not been prepared. And I said this at pre-season. I said the problem that we started the season and we were playing 3 DMs was already the red flag for me. That when this manager's not prepared in knowing how to use this team, bro. We are not prepared. This is poor, bro. I'm sorry. This is poor. Really poor. In the second half, yeah, I'm saying Timber had a pass to Saka. Saka had a shot blocked. There was another opportunity where Saka was in the box. He should have shot. What did he do? Tried to backheel it to Declan Rice. What are you doing? You're through on goal. Take the shot. What are you doing, bro? I'm tired of Saka being predictable. I'm tired of him not being able to take the fullback on. I'm tired of his poor crosses. I'm tired of his poor decision making at time. I'm tired of it. There was one time where the one time I saw him beat the fullback, what did he do? Try to then beat the centre back. Bro, put it on a plate. Put it on a plate. We've got 3 players in the box. Listen, like I said, if the goal is to just get Champions League spot, don't worry, we got that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But if you want to win something, forget it. Forget it. Playing like this, forget it, bro. You don't. Nah, man. Nah, this is too poor, bro. This is too poor. And to be honest, yeah, Everton were robbed. Everton were robbed, bro. They should have got a free kick for Zubamendi's late tackle on their player just outside the box. They should have had a free kick, and they should have had a penalty for Saliba kicking their player's leg. Completely missed the ball and kicked their player's leg. They should have had a penalty. Let's just be, bro. It's not good enough, bro. It's not. It's really. I'm I'm not convinced at all. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. Yeah, I mean, Saliba kicking Barry's leg, they should have got a penalty. And next time I hear Arsenal fans talking about, oh, we're robbed and we don't get opportunities and referees are against us and this and that. Well, this game, the referee saved us the 3 points. They didn't get the free kick, they didn't get the penalty. So are the Arsenal fans going to come out now and say, oh, do you know what? We need fairness in the game. Oh, do you know what? Everton were robbed. Oh, you know what? We're going to have to make 1,200 shows about how the referee robbed Everton. No, they're going to act like that wasn't a penalty, like they didn't deserve a free kick outside the box. This is what I mean, bro. This is what I mean, bro. This is what I mean, bro. Like this is just not good. And the reason I'm annoyed because of the title of the show, Deja Vu. And the deja vu is of not getting over the line, of not being able to get over the line and get the job done. I don't see us getting the job done, bro. I don't see us getting the job done. I'm just telling you this now. Do you know what I mean? Zubamendi had a shot that hit the post. It is what it is. It is what it is. Today, for me, Trossard was absolutely horrendous. If I'm going to keep it 100%, Trossard was horrendous today. Barely in the game. A lot of his passes were dead. Just not really making himself available. There was one opportunity that Trossard did have, and he hit. Declan Rice played you through. You had all the time in the world, Trossard. You have to be burying those opportunities 1v1 with the goalkeeper. You have to be burying it. But he didn't. So I don't know. Zubamendi, like I said again, defensively all over the place. Ødegaard, misplaced some passes, taking too long, too many. The guy delays the pass too much. He either plays a safe pass or he delays the pass. I don't know how many more times Gyökeres has to show you. I saw Gyökeres pointing, play the ball here, play the ball here, play it here. I'm already making a run. What does he do? Stalls the pass to the, and all of a sudden that opportunity is gone. The defender's already closed. We're not going to be able to win like this. This internet, bro. Right, we are back. We are back. I'm gonna have to talk to my man about the internet for now. I'm just gonna hotspot off my phone. Apologies. A big up to everyone locked in, everyone that was patient. But yeah, it's it is what it is, bro. I'm done. I'm done with thinking that this manager can maybe surprise me. I already know he can't surprise me. I don't see anything changing. If I be honest with you, even when you look at Jesus when he came on today, little link up play, little this, little that, but really and truly not good enough, bro. Not good enough. Do you know what I mean? And I can't believe a lot of this fan base were telling me that he's going to be the savior and oh, Jesus is going to save us and he's going to do this. He ain't going to do nothing. He comes on, does a couple of passes, but ultimately it's not good enough, bro. He's not going to save us. He's not the answer. And that's the reality of it. He's not the answer. Martinelli came on, he was rubbish. Moreno, Moreno, a couple of little passes. Nothing ain't changing, bro. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. It's not good enough. Like, I don't. The bigger picture is we've got better players, but it's like we're getting progressively worse. We're getting progressively worse. What is going on here? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't see why Ethan can't play. I don't know why Eze had to hold bench. I don't get it, bro. Like, I don't know why these men have to hold bench. Now, Ethan will get us playing a lot better. When he came on against Club Brugge, you saw the intent. You saw him getting into dangerous positions. You saw him actually asking for the ball, getting himself in the box, actually moving like a proper midfielder and getting himself about. We don't get that with Zubimendi. Declan Rice can't do it all by himself. Ødegaard is just too predictable. Saka, predictable. Trossard, inconsistent. Gyökeres, no service. It's just, I saw players running into each other today as well, running into each other like they don't even know where they're going. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to. It's just all over the place. It's all over the place. You could have brought on Madueke to make it more direct. Instead, no. Yeah, I'm saying we have to stick with Saka. Saka didn't deserve to be on the pitch today for 90 minutes. Like, this guy does not get made accountable for his poor performances. I'm not saying he was the only one, but he was one of many. It's just not good enough, man. It's just not good enough. And like I said, I'm not even angry. I can't say that I'm surprised. I can't say that didn't expect this. I've been calling these performances out. But as long as we get the points, I feel like majority of this fan base just think, oh, well, we got the points. But don't worry, we got the points. It's not about just getting the points. It's about it's about the team doing things that they can repeat going forward to continue to pick up points. Playing well, moving the ball well, defending well, being cohesive, understanding where each player wants to receive the ball. There's no fluidity with this attack. There's no fluidity. They just seem like a group of individuals. There's no link-up play. Look at the way City played today. Look at the way that Reinders and Cherky and Haaland, Foden are all linking up. Look at the way that they're look at the way they're playing. And look at the way that we're playing. Who look more like champions? This is poor, man. This is really poor. Calafiori, I'm sick and tired of saying how many times Calafiori is out of position. It just is what it is. Like, I think it's well established that Eze is our best number 10. Just start Eze. If you want to rotate him if we're up 3-0 or something, you want to rotate him, cool. Bring him off after the 60th minute if we're up 3-0 or something. I don't mind that. But thinking that Ødegaard's going to be the answer, why has this guy always got to be shoehorned into every starting 11? Near enough. I'd struggle to even say that Ødegaard would be an impact sub. He's just a player that can impact games, can be influential over games when it's an easy ride. There's not a competitive midfield. He doesn't need to run around much. He's got time on the ball. Other than that, why is this guy starting? Why is this guy starting, bro? We should be building the chemistry between Eze and Gyökeres. I don't know what the instructions are to get Gyökeres service, because most of the service that he got today was headers. Can anybody in the chat tell me if they think that that's the service that Gyökeres wants? Because I know for a fact that's not the service that he's looking for. But that was the service he was given today. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. The thing is, yeah, Gyökeres gets so few chances that it's hard. Sometimes I get frustrated at him, but I'm like, I'm not supposed. If he wants to run at the shoulder of the defender and he only gets per game one opportunity like that, I can't expect him to score 1-in-1 or 1-in-2. You have to keep feeding the striker, especially a striker that's low in confidence. I'm glad that he got the goal today from the penalty. But at the end of the day, getting the penalty is useless if we're not going to give him service on a regular basis. It's irrelevant. If you're not going to give him service on a regular basis, bro, there's no point. Do you know what I mean? It just don't make no sense, bro. It just doesn't make any sense. You can build his confidence with the penalty, but you sustain his confidence by actually getting the team to feed him the chances that he wants and actually look up and bring him into the game. If you're not going to do that, then this penalty confidence boost is going to be short-lived. And then in our next game, we'll revert back to the same mode. We don't need to be playing. Look at the opposition that we're playing bad against. Look at the level of opposition. People can gas up as much as they want. But at the end of the day, yeah, Sunderland are Sunderland. They're a decent team, but they're not world beaters. And look how poor we played there. Chelsea, this fan base told me that we're levels above Chelsea. We don't care about Chelsea. Rare. But look at the way we played against them. Look at the way we played against them. Aston Villa was supposed to be levels above Aston Villa. Look at the way we played against Aston Villa. Is that acceptable? Look at the way we played against bottom of the league Wolves. And look today how we played against Everton. And does this scream to you like champions? Yeah, this team is ready to be champions. They're not. The one thing that's going to stop Arsenal winning the league is Arsenal. And like I said, the fact that this manager cannot continue to get the team lineup correct and stuff like that. I don't want to hear about injuries. Eze's there, Ethan's there. It's not about injuries why we're playing like this. A lot of people have been praising Trossard so far this season. You're telling me Trossard can't play better? You're telling me Saka can't play better? You're telling me Gyökeres can't? You're telling me Ødegaard can't at least be direct like he was, well, more direct like he was in 22-23 season? I don't get it. The best that he's got out of this group of players is when he's played attacking football. Just blend it with, being pragmatic in certain parts or certain games, or to see out certain games when you put the game to bed. But we can't seem to do that. We can't seem to do that. And I've been saying, look at the runs that City keep going on. Look at the fact they keep getting. They're always in touching distance. They keep winning game. They keep winning. And now look. We've allowed them to bridge the gap. We allowed them to bridge the gap to the point now where we can't afford to drop points. Yeah, I'm saying they're 2 points behind us. 37 points for City. We're on 39. And we're playing like this. Sorry, it doesn't build me up with confidence. It doesn't build me up with confidence, bro. It doesn't build me up with confidence. I'm looking at this Palace game coming up. I'm looking at these other games coming up, and I don't feel confident. We got Palace, Brighton, and then we got Villa. I reckon we lose to Villa, and there's a good chance that we lose to Palace. And this is not because we're not good enough to beat Palace. This is because of the way we're playing. And if that doesn't change, I worry we might not beat Palace. I'm not confident about this team. This team didn't look convincing against bottom of the league Wolves. How can I have confidence? I don't have confidence. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. We needed 2 own goals against Wolves. We're going up against Palace. If we played the way we played against Wolves, Well, we need what? We need one or two on goals. Is that what we need? Because today, apart from the listen, penalties are part of football. Away from the penalty, we weren't good enough. Hitting the post doesn't mean anything. You didn't score. We didn't take our opportunities. We didn't put our opportunities to bed. This ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. I'll be real. It ain't looking good at all. And there'll be a lot of Arsenal fans that want to bury their head in the sand and say, "Oh, well, well, we got the 3 points." Okay, those are always the fans that get shocked at how we're not able to win the league because they don't see the bigger picture. So it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. The link is there for anyone that does want to jump on. I just yeah, I don't get it, bro. I really don't get it. Let me get into some of the comments. Big up to everyone locked in. I'm getting to some of the comments. Palace losing 4-1 to Leeds might be their start of falling. It's crazy. How's Leeds attacking more than we are? Because they actually coached to attack, bro. They actually coached to it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Macy, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, what's up, Northside? You enjoying
All
your
good,
life
man.
in Barcelona, dude?
Yeah, man, just a bit tired, bro. I was out till 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out till 12 last night, man. Yeah, I mean, just before what I literally got in at like 1 p.m. yesterday, man. Today, 1 p.m. today. I'm shattered, man. But I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, and I watched the game from my big brother's TV, and I gotta tell you, it was boring. Like we didn't even create one good chance apart from that opportunity that Trossard has to put away, but instead he hit the post. I think he was poor. The rest of the team were poor apart from Gyökeres, who got that penalty, and the amount of times he was telling every single Arsenal player to just I'm making that run down the box. Give me the ball. Like no one doesn't even want to pass the ball to him. And what really pissed me off was the fact that um Arteta took him off. Like yet again, that's why he has this hatred for Gyökeres. And when I was looking at the monitor, I saw the look on Gyökeres' face. He was absolutely pissed off at his manager. He must be thinking to himself, why did I even come to this football club? I came because I was supposed to be getting opportunities, but it looks like this manager doesn't want to start me. But all in all, we were poor today. Good win, but what does that do for us? Man City are right behind us in the table with only like a point just below us. And this is the performance we put against an Everton team. And no disrespect to Everton, they are a tough team to crack. They gave us a runaround today, especially the fact that they should have gotten a penalty themselves. I just don't know why that the referee today was sus. I just don't know why that never resulted in a penalty to Everton. The way Saliba absolutely kicked Tiano Barry in his ankle was shocking, and we got away with it today. But I can assure you, we won't be getting away from the games against Brighton, Crystal Palace on Tuesday, and Aston Villa because those are the games that really start to worry you and me, Northside, because I just don't think we're going to beat Palace because people are going to say, oh, but Palace lost to Leeds today. Well, you never know because Oliver Glasner came out in his interview and he said that he is fully prepared for Tuesday in the cup match against Arsenal. So Glasner knows something about winning a trophy, something that our manager has never been able to do. And the fact of the matter is that Bukayo Saka, yet again, everything is always about him. Always. The amount of times when he was coming forward in the box, somebody's trying to say to him, pass me the ball, but instead he runs around and he tries to get behind his man, but he can't, there's nowhere for him to cross the ball. So this is on Saka. I'm sick and tired of the fact that Saka has to do something stupid and not get punished for it. And what made it even more worse was the fact that Ødegaard kept on skipping the field. You know what I mean? Because when Everton had the ball, I saw Ødegaard doing a bit of skipping again. Like, this is our captain for, like, I just don't know why this whole skipping around thing is suitable for him. I just don't get it. And Declan Rice, for me, he looked absolutely knackered. I have never seen him this tired before. He needs to rest up, because if this manager keeps on playing him every single game, then by the end of this season, we will not be seeing Rice in midfield ever again. Zubimendi today, absolutely piss poor. I told you, this guy isn't what you think he is. He was decent at Sociedad, but if an opposition like presses him forward in midfield, then he will start to fold. And we saw that today. Zubimendi, for me, I just don't know why the amount of times he's not marking his man, when one Everton midfield, I think it was James Garner, like, he should be marking him in the edge of the box when Everton are ready to deliver their free kick in. Calafiori today was absolutely dog shit. The Italian Sofia Carson is back. There was one point in the match where he had the ball, but then apparently he slipped over, and that allowed Everton to create the counter-attack. But one player should have got man the match today. I said it could be either Saliba or Nkambie, but I'm happy they gave Nkambie man of the match. He was absolutely keeping Everton's attackers out of the match. Saliba as well. He was locking horns with Beto. He was able to keep Beto out of the match completely. Big up to Saliba. What are you doing for that ankle challenge on Barry? You were very lucky today with that, with the referee not giving Everton a penalty. And that's why I'm still not confident we're going to win the league, Northside. I still believe, in my mind, Man City will walk the league, because when I saw that game against West Ham today, Man City were playing with full vigor and confidence. Like, they were passing the ball around to each other, waiting to create a
goal-scoring opportunity. That is why I look at City as favourites to win the Premier League. With us, I don't see us winning the Premier League, because we're not playing as a team. We're just playing like this is our moment. Like this is my time. I want to do this. Like, they just don't care about playing for each other, Northside. They only care about playing for like their own agenda. So for me, I'm not confident we are winning the Premier League. And by Tuesday, when Crystal Palace knock us out of the League Cup, the first thing that these top gunners are going to say, oh, but we don't want the League Cup anyway. It's an energy cup. That's the first thing they're going to say when Palace knock us out of the cup. And also, Brighton have got a decent record against us. Fabian Hürzeler has outclassed this manager twice last season. 2 draws at the Emirates and at the IMAX. And on the final year of 25, we've got to go and play Aston Villa. And it wouldn't surprise me if Villa do a double over us. The first time they've done a double over us since the 23-24 season, when they beat us 1-0 at Villa Park. And then they beat us 2-0 at the Emirates to fully end our title challenge. So that could happen again in a few weeks, in a few months' time. So those are the games I'm worried about. I'm still disappointed by that performance today. But all in all, we were lucky to survive Everton's new stadium. But I can assure you, we won't survive against Brighton and against Aston Villa and Crystal Palace too.
Well, it's definitely not looking convincing. I completely hear that, bro. It's not looking convincing at all. Toby, what are you saying, man? Do you agree with Macy? How do you see the game today, bro? Hold on. There you go.
Yeah, can you hear me, man? Yeah, man. I do agree with Macy, man, bro. Honestly, bro, I've been a tether out, man. I've been done. You know, like, I just don't care anymore, bro. You know what I mean? Like, even today's game, I wasn't confident. Man City, bro, the way they've been playing, man, it's reminding me of the 2023 season, like what Macy said, you know, like, and also, like, with Eze, I don't understand why you're not putting him as the number 10. I don't know why you keep putting Ødegaard all the time. Like, Ødegaard hasn't been playing that good, you know, and also with Victor, like you said, I was watching the Brentford game, right? Remember the Brentford game when Saka didn't pass the ball to him? I saw Victor's face, right? And Victor's like, bro, like, I'm here. Why aren't you not giving me the ball, right? Like, what's going on? You know, and the other time with Martinelli, when Martinelli too had the ball and he wanted the ball, Martinelli just ignored him and just went away and just shot the ball like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the point of we buying a striker if we already have him? And what's the point of we buying the Eze, right? We've been crying for Eze. We've been saying that we want him to start, right? We bought him and everything, but we're not playing him, right? This is a guy that said that Arsenal is his dream home. This is a childhood thing to him, and we're not punishing him by we not playing him, and all of a sudden, you know, like we want to now give him this 6 years. So it's like I've been done, North. That's why I said I've been done. Like I know the way I see it, Man City is going to win the league, and if we're not careful, bro, we might even be off the top four race, man. Because Liverpool is back, Villa's back, and even Chelsea have been decent, bro. So it's like we might not even be in the top four anymore, bro. So it's like, what's the whole point of this? You know what I mean? So and even the game, man, like what Macy said, Everton should have won that game, man. If I want to be real, if not because what's the name of the African guy that just left? That went on to AFCON. I think it was Idrissa Unguye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Diarra
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. They
He's
left.
gone for AFCON.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to AFCON. Yeah, so if not because of those players, we would have lost that game. So it's like, and now like what Mason said, we have Crystal Palace next, and Crystal Palace, bro, like in the cup game, they're different. You know what I mean? Like Crystal Palace is different in the what's it called? What's that cup again that we're playing for again? That the cup, what's the name?
League Cup.
The League Cup. Yeah, yeah,
Carabao Cup.
the Carabao Cup. Yeah, the Carabao Cup. Like we're not. So it's like, honestly, and even Northside, I'm gonna say another thing, bro. I don't want to say this, but Stricto, man, I didn't like what Stricto did to you, man. Big time. I didn't like what he did to you. Like he kept interrupting you and stuff like that because that's messed up, you know. And I don't appreciate that. But keep doing your thing, man. I see what you Northside stand for. I see what you Lee stand on. All out and Jess. I didn't like what he did to Jess too. Like that's messed up. You know what I mean? And I'm African too, and I didn't like that. So just keep doing your thing, man. And I just want to say that, yeah, man, like I'm not confident, bro. I'm not happy at all, man. Yeah.
Man, I hear it, man. I hear it, man. It is what
Yeah,
it is,
man.
man. It is what it is, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
nah, I'm not confident either, man. I'm not even confident either, bro. I mean, Zia, you're obviously a neutral. You're a Bayern fan. When you look at this Arsenal team, you watch the game today. You look at this Arsenal team. Do they look like champions to you, or a team that can be champions under this manager?
So it's a weird one because just a month ago, when you beat us, everyone was talking about how you're the best team. How everyone was talking about how, which to be fair, rightfully so. Not gonna act like it's not rightfully so, right? Best team, best looking team. Didn't do this, gonna do that. You know, one thing I noticed, and I said this on a show that, funny enough, another fellow Saudi content creator that I do a show with, he's an Arsenal fan. And one thing I told him, which I found very weird, why all of a sudden is Ødegaard playing? You were doing fine at the time, those times that I just mentioned earlier when you beat us, when you had Eze in that team. All of a sudden now you're playing Ødegaard, and whoop-de-doo, you man are playing different football. How come? You know, that's my question. Listen, I will say though, from what I saw, because again, I didn't watch the entire game, I saw highlights. You did have some chances. Like I saw that Trossard hit the post, for example, etc. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like, again, I have to repeat the same thing whenever I talk on spaces about you guys. Like, Gyökeres, how many times does he make runs? How many times does he make runs? And the guys like Ødegaard don't find him. You know, it's ridiculous. However, I will say this. At some point, though, like, to be honest, though, Northside, because I know you defend Gyökeres to a degree, and I understand why. He does need to adapt, though, Gyökeres. I'm not gonna lie. That at some point, that brother needs to adapt to whatever the hell's going on at Arsenal. Otherwise, he's gonna pummel to the ground. You know what I
No,
mean?
I agree. I've always said that he also has to, when he gets a chance, he also has to take his chance. But at the same time, I feel like the lack of opportunities means his conversion rate's got to be, score one goal from 2 chances, and it's a bit ridiculous. You know what I mean? And you can
Yeah.
already see what he's not in it, and he's definitely not a great header of the ball. He's not somebody that's going to bag loads of headers. Most of the chances that he got today was crosses into the ball, into the box, and
Yeah,
he's headering it wide. And I'm not surprised. It's
as
not
well.
the service that he wants. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, he wants to runs
I,
in behind then.
he wants runs in behind, and then Ødegaard's playing it behind him. Then the only time that he got it was Saliba. To be fair, though, the Everton player did well to recover well. I think he's not. I think Gyökeres is not used to the speed of the defenders here. I don't think he's used to it. In Portugal, they'll be gone. He'd be able to lose them very quickly if he's got the if he's positioned right. But over here, I think he realizes like he doesn't have as much time as Portugal, but he has to fix up because also you're right because we bought him to win the league. We didn't buy him as a player that's a project player. He's 27 years old. We bought him to
Yeah,
be the
yeah, yeah.
finished article. Do you know what I mean? So he has to. You know what I mean? He has to hit the ground running, bro. He has to.
No, but my thing as well, like it's not a good look when all of it. And listen, I don't agree with it because I've seen him
Yeah.
at Leipzig, but it's not a good look when people are like, "Oh, Sesko, look, this is why Arteta wanted Sesko." Like, bro, like trust me, I've seen Sesko at Leipzig. He's nothing special, bro. Harder at Leipzig is doing better than him. Trust me. Yeah, Leipzig don't really miss him like that. However, at the same time, like it's not a good look when Gyökeres is not, adapting enough to so much so that now he's looked bad, like that bad. You know what I mean? It's just
Mm.
at some point, bro, you need to adapt your game. They have a say. It's like you either sink or you swim, and I feel like he's sinking the more he doesn't adapt. You get what I'm saying? But then at the
Mm.
same time, I think what helps Gyökeres' case a little bit more to see what Gyökeres is really like is if Ødegaard just gets dropped. Because how many times does his brother see like Gyökeres running, or maybe he doesn't see him, doesn't pass him? It's ridiculous, bro. At least from what I've seen personally, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just my sense on it. Also, can I just say one more thing quickly? I find it interesting that Arsenal fans, generally speaking, they like to gas up Saka over too much. Because there were people telling me that Saka is better than Olise. By the way, I'm not joking. Like that in itself is crazy work. Crazy work. So nah, I just wanted to point that out there. But hey, who the hell am I? I'm just some Bayern fan that don't know Arsenal ball, right? Don't care to watch Premier League ball, guy, right? I mean, okay then. But yeah, that's just my sense.
No, I hear it. That definitely sounds like my fan base. That definitely is something that I could hear one of them saying. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. He's supposed to be getting a new contract. The way he's playing right now, bro, I can't lie. I can't lie. Like, it's not looking convincing, bro. Like, it's not looking convincing. I'm not saying Saka's a bad player. I just feel like he's a player that you can see he kind of looks like he's hit a ceiling with this manager. I don't see the development that I've seen from, for example, Dembele at PSG under Luis Enrique.
Enrique. Yeah.
That's a player that went from Dortmund, went to Barcelona, had loads of problems, injuries, didn't everyone's thinking, yo, the potential's there. Why is he not reaching the potential? Then he goes to PSG. You don't hear anything about disciplinary. You don't see him getting injuries, really. Do you know what I mean? And he's been able to be effective within that system, within that team. I'm not seeing the growth of Saka. Since the time when we sat back and said, you know what, Saka needs to get numbers, like he had to get like more goals. That's the last time I saw Saka like improve because he started improving his numbers. He started becoming our highest goal scorer. From then, I feel like his growth has been stunted. But the thing is, I feel like a lot of players have been stunted under this manager. There has been some players that have improved, mainly defensive players that actually the system works for them. It gives them the environment to continue improving. Declan Rice has improved. I can say that. To be fair, Declan Rice has improved under Arteta's watch. Gabriel's improved. And that's really it. I think Timber was already a top fullback anyway. Came into the squad, was already a top fullback. He's ruining Ben White with injuries. He's taken a lot out of Ødegaard's confidence with the injuries rushing him back. You know, he got 2 shoulder injuries. I don't really see the development of Martinelli. I don't see the development of Havertz and Jesus. They're kind of like players that were already kind of the same. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see him develop Zinchenko. I haven't seen him develop Calafiori like that. I didn't see him develop Kivior. There's a lot of players that I didn't really see them growing, you know, under this manager. But Doc, we're gonna go to you, man. We're gonna get your opinion. I mean, even though we won today, it kind of feels flat to me anyway, because I kind of just feel like, yeah, it's gonna be the same story this season. I've got that same feeling after watching this game and the Wolves game and the Villa game and Sunderland game. How do you feel after this game, bro?
Well, I mean, I feel well rested because that was a really nice 96 minutes worth of a good siesta right there. I mean, wow, you know, like forget Ambien. You know, they might as well put people who have like insomnia, just, you know, watch Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. You know, they'll put them right to sleep. I mean, like we know that the warning signs are blaring. We know that the writing is on the wall. And, you know, it's good. I just want to be clear. It's good that we got 3 points today. It's fundamental. It's necessary to respond. You know, after Man City had gone, you know, top the league temporarily for a few hours. But to that end, not only this performance today, but the performance against Wolves, as you had mentioned, and the fragility shown against Villa, against Chelsea, against Sunderland. When a better team rocks up in, say, February or March or April or May, where we have historically bottled it, it's going to be long. It is going to be long. You know, but again, I want to be proven wrong because at the end of the day, I support the club, and if we win silverware, that's all we want at the end of the day. But there has been no empirical evidence to suggest that this manager is going to get us over the line. There has been nothing over the last 6 years that has suggested that he is capable of learning from his mistakes, that he is capable of doing things different. And it's, yeah, I think I was only coming here just to make sure that everyone was, you know, behaving, that there wasn't any, you know, Gyökeres slander going on, even though that being said, like he does need to step his game up, but the fact that, you know, the fact that Saliba had the best pass in the final third in the first half, that is, again, it is so damning. It is so sacrilegious to think that we have spent so much money and yet we look so toothless and so void of ideas, and we're just overall thin on quality and depth. You know, like people talking about how rather like people would have us think, Northside, people would have us think that we have the Galacticos here at the Emirates. We have the Rockettes. That's what we have. You know, like we have a bunch of prima donnas in this club. You know, like, and you know, like in the sooner that this manager has departed, the sooner his favorite players can depart with him. As you know, like, and his, you know, like, and the lawyers that are cosplaying as Arsenal fans, they'll have the decision to make as well whether or not they want to follow him out. I mean, like, I'm absolutely. Oh, I'm telling you, like watching the performance like this is exhausting. It's great. I'm glad we got the 3 points, but it's exhausting.
Yeah. No, it's 100% because I feel like this manager's being judged. Well, for me anyway, I judge him now. Like when you're in quarterfinals, semi-finals, you know, I don't even want to say final because I don't even think he's gonna get to a final. But I'm thinking when you get to the crunch end of the season, and you know when you're getting far into the Champions League, what is it that we're gonna see from you? You know, what's the tactics going to be like? How are you going to use the squad? How are you going to use certain players? Are you going to allow certain players that are informed to continue? We saw Eze against Crystal Palace. He was effective. Eze doesn't always give you the best performance so far at Arsenal since he's been here, but he's effective. What is Ødegaard effective at doing? I've seen Eze turning up in the North London derby. I've never seen, I mean, I don't see Ødegaard turning up and being effective. Eze gets himself in good goal scoring positions. If he sees a run like against Bayern and Martinelli's through, he releases the pass. That's the difference between Eze and Ødegaard. If he sees an opportunity or a counter attack, he will play the pass early. Ødegaard would have hesitated, taken time. Maybe I go backwards. Maybe I go sideways. Maybe I hold on to it. I don't know. I'm buffering. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't like that kind of mentality. I don't like that kind of ability from a player. I don't like it. And this is the thing. Like, if you're gonna play this defensive football, you need attack forward-minded players when you do have those counter attacks. And the thing is, we've got a striker that wants to play like that, but then we've got a selfish right winger. We've got a left winger that is inconsistent. Regardless who you play there, you have a midfield that's Declan Rice is trying to get forward. But then other than that, Zubamendi's I just find him very safe. Even Partey used to play more defense splitting passes and actually try to connect with the forward line. I don't see that from Zubamendi. I was seeing him at times, he had space. He slows down. He does an Ødegaard. He's another one. He slows it down, looks around. Oh, let me pass it sideways. You know, but let me take 25 minutes to make a decision, then I'll just pass it sideways. I'll go safe. I feel like this team was a lot better when, in certain aspects, when you had a Xhaka going forward, you had a Thomas Partey that could pick up passes or can at least pick up when Martinelli's making a run or Saka's making a run. And I think a lot of people forget that. We don't have that now. We don't have that. Declan Rice is not the greatest at driving with the ball, but he tries to go forward. Zubamendi's very robotic and plays it safe. Ødegaard's robotic, plays it safe. The left-hand side, inconsistent. The right-hand side, selfish. The striker, no service. We've got fullbacks today running into our flipping wingers, bro. We've got Timber running into Saka. Calafiori running in the way of flipping Trossard. Trossard doing nothing, sleeping. Come on, man. Like, what kind of football is this? Genuinely. And Arteta's there shouting at them as if he's not the one that's instilled this kind of football into the team. You've instilled this into them. And then you're shouting at them like they're not doing instructions. This is how you want to play. This is what you've guided them to become. I don't know, man. Anybody can go. I mean, it's open panel. Anyone can go.
No, I was going to say something, right? Like, even with Saka, right? I don't know what it is. I think ever since that contract thing came up, like, I think it's getting to his head a little bit, you know what I mean? Because look at what happens because in his mind, I don't know, and I can't speak for everybody. I think maybe for him, he's looking at it like, since I signed this big contract, you know what? I'm the star boy now, right? Because that's what everyone calls me. That's what all the fans look at me as. But I also look at it at the same time that maybe Arteta, Arteta has his favorites, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I also look at it like when for Saka and also for Martinelli, I look at it like but let me go, especially for Saka. I just think that ever since he signed that contract, maybe that money has been entering his head lately. You know, maybe he hasn't been that same Saka that we all know. What do you think about that?
Anyone
I
want to
would
go?
concur with that. I mean, like, just for the fact alone that I think we can all agree that he has not been the same since his injury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and I think as well we can say comfortably that this manager has rushed him. Rather, he has rushed Saka back into the squad, despite the fact that he was coming off such a severe injury as well, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
You know, and so while I do think, while I think that it is more typically natural, like for a player to need to have some type of reacclimation period after such an injury. With that being said, flip side, Timber, he had a massive injury as well, and he has come back, like flying right out of the gates. I mean, so it's not to say that it's always like a one size fit all kind of like recovery, but I mean, like he looks like he's lost a step in his pace. I've seen him do more step overs in a New Balance ad than I have seen him do, like in 90 minutes on a pitch.
Yeah.
I on one hand, I understand like the whole like asset protection thing of like making sure that like your best assets at the club are are retained, but the performances haven't really like reflected, or I guess like suggested such a wage. And I know I'm contradicting myself as well, but simply because this stupid ass club gave our favorite pack mule before right hooves 285,000 like pounds a week. Saka has that as Saka has that as like his leverage in negotiation, simply because Saka is far and better wide a better player and a greater contributor to Arsenal. So I mean like it's it's fucked from all different angles, right?
Yeah, of course.
I hear that. No, I hear that. I
Yeah.
mean, I will say though, sometimes a contract extension could actually make a good player. I'll give you guys an example. With us, Alphonso Davies, the moment he extended, this guy went on another level. So maybe who knows? Maybe if Saka extends, maybe he'll be better because now this whole contract talk is out of the equation. You know what I mean? No more press talks about it. But regardless, man, the way he's getting rated and hyped and that, he still needs to be held accountable, bro. Like don't get it twisted. I actually rate him higher than a lot of people think. I just don't get it when he gets overgassed compared to other players. That's all. You know what I mean? That's that simple. But yeah, regardless, I think he'll be okay if he extends. But as of right now, he needs to figure out what he wants.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Like I just got to respond to this comment here because this one is brilliant.
Yeah.
So so mind you, like people always talk about, I had someone tell me today other teams are conspiring against Arsenal simply because all teams put up a low block against us, but then they open themselves up by rather like Bonnie Blue against Man City. The reason why teams are opened up against Man City is simply because they are unpredictable. The reason why teams continue to put low blocks up against us is because we are predictable, we are obvious, and and teams have already proven time and again, year after year, that low blocks work. So why would teams change something up if it works? Sorry, just had to say that.
Yeah, and also I need to add on something as well. Why wasn't Eze and Madueke on? Because they were the ones that could change the game. Because listen, as I said before, I'm not a Madueke fan. I've never rated him at Chelsea, and I don't rate him at Arsenal. But this season, he has been absolutely terrific for us. He has been running down the right-hand channel for us, and with him in the squad, we look dangerous. But the fact is, this manager didn't even have the guts to take Saka off and bring Madueke on because he is more concerned on giving Saka that 300 grand a week. For what? Just because you want to make him the poster boy of Arsenal. That's what the fan base clowns are saying, because they're saying that they want to make Saka the poster boy. So, and Eze as well. Eze should have come on as well. Like, I just cannot believe he kept Saka on the whole 90 minutes. And when you saw Saka down on the field, I was telling man, get up. Why are you lying down on the floor, Saka? Why are you lying down on the floor, Saka? We know you're just faking that injury. So Saka, for me, like, I just don't know the amount of times he keeps going down, holding his ankle. Like, it's just a bunch. It's just an entertainment show to just like all this nonsense. Like Saka, for me, I can't rate him anymore. Like, I used to believe that there is something about Saka that makes me say this guy could be the next big thing. But
not this version of Saka, not him arguing with the linesman, not him going down on the floor with his ankle, and the amount of times when there was one point in the game, he and Pickford were having a bit of an argument, and then Saka said, "I'll see you in the locker room." Like, Saka is a bit of a mouthy is a bit of a mouthy person. Like, he just wants to start fights with everybody. Like, he wants to pick fights. And Pickford was laughing. Like, I saw when Saka said that to him, Pickford started laughing. And that made me shocked when Saka said to Pickford, "I'll see you at the locker room."
Yeah, bro, do you know what it is? Yeah, at the end of the day, Saka's got, good players have got a bit of an ego. That's fine, but at the same time, I don't mind the ego. He's still got to be able to deliver. Thierry Henry had a bit of an ego. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he backed it on the pitch. I don't really mind that. I understand, especially in sport, a competitive field, you have to have a level of self-belief that can come across as an ego. That's fine. My thing is this manager's scared, for this team to open up because he wants them to keep the defensive shape. But there's times where you have to allow players to operate a little bit outside of their position so that you can unlock oppositions. You got to move the ball around quicker. You have to allow players to make defenders make decisions. Do you mark the player next to you, or do you follow the runner? That's the only way you're going to break teams down. That's the way you're going to create opportunities. I feel like he's got them within a rigid system, but then he wants them to also be able to score goals. And we're kind of trapped within two worlds. He doesn't fully want to commit to how we did 22-23, but then he doesn't really want to be all out defensive because he knows he has to pick up the points to continue this title race. But when we were 5 points clear, we still had a bit of a gap. Now we're 2 points clear. So now it's like, this is why I said I was upset with us dropping points to Sunderland. This is why I was upset about the performances. This is why I was upset that we didn't make the most of Chelsea when they had a player sent off. Those were opportunities to allow yourself, especially at the crunch end of the season, allow yourself a level of, okay, if we do slip up one game, okay, cool. We still got we got enough points to kind of recover and it not to spiral. The thing is we're already dropping points, just about getting by, just about getting by against Wolves, and then we're just about getting by against Everton. And it's like, what are we doing? 2 shots on target today. What is that? Like, the performance, there was parts of this game, let's just be honest, parts of this game where Everton will open us up. When that second half, the first 10, 15 minutes, they looked like they were going to score a goal. They were the team that was pushing us back. We looked all over the place. We had a couple of moments where we looked a little bit like, whoa, okay, we're looking a bit rocked defensively. It's like, we're looking like that against Everton. This is just, I just don't trust this guy, man. I don't trust this guy. Crunch end of the season, I don't trust Arteta. I really don't. I just feel like he'll always revert back to type, which is defend first, defend. That's not good enough for teams that are expected to win trophies. You have to go in ascendancy. You have to attack. The best teams in the world and the trophies that they won, they're attacking teams. They're attacking teams. They're teams that take it. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Benfica, Porto, you know what I mean? Liverpool, Man United, all the historic teams, you know what I mean? Even Chelsea, all these teams, they're attacking football wins you trophies, bro. Not sitting back, stinking it out all the time. You ain't going to win nothing like that. You can't forever be stinking it out and everybody defend for flipping 90 minutes, bro. Like, this ain't good enough. It's just deja vu for me, man. I'm just so done with this guy. Like,
No, I agree. No, go ahead. I'm done.
I was just gonna say, it's like that old parable, like if you refuse to learn from history, you're prone to repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And again, this manager has time and again proven to not learn from the same mistakes that he's repeating over and over and over again. And it's going to be even more long when someone like a Jurriën Timber or Declan Rice, like run out of gas because they have been run into the ground and their legs have gone out. We're playing with fire, and as I said earlier, it is beyond the pale of comprehension how mind you, we have 6 years, right? We have 6 years of an example that we can look at where we can conduct an autopsy and identify that there is nothing tangible, coherent, or cogent that would suggest this manager is going to get us over the line. And yet there are some people still out here saying, if I were to go back to December 20th, 2019, and if I would make the same decision then as we had done so all that time ago, they would really give Mikel 6 years and at 1.2 billion quid again, with 6 years of hindsight looking at this. You cannot you cannot write it, and you also cannot make any sense of it, because at the end of the day, we know that this is not a logic driven agenda that they have. This is an emotion driven agenda. This is something based out of a love, out of an idolization for someone that was never a club legend. He was such a inferior replacement for Cesc. And he has been proven to have been an inferior replacement, like for Wenger / Emery. And people are out here defending them as if it was like their mother. It's incomprehensible.
Yeah, and also the fact is, this manager's 6-year anniversary of him playing this kind of weird, attacking, weird lineup. And in his press conferences, he was talking about Ben White's injury and saying that, Ben White is this, Ben White is that. Bro, how about just tell us when Ben White is coming back? How about that? But every time he keeps saying, he's doing this, he's doing that, and all this stuff, it's just he's not even being honest with the fact that Ben White could be out for a long time, or maybe for 4 to 6 weeks. And also in his press, Olivier Giroud came out and said, he said, and I quote, Arsenal in February, sometimes when the pressure is down, they tend to fumble around and lose and tend to drop the title out, bottle the title completely in February. But then Ødegaard had the audacity to call out Giroud and say, why are you mouthing off about Arsenal? You were never a great player for us, Giroud. The fact that Ødegaard disrespected Giroud was unbelievable. Giroud, I understand that he wasn't he was an okay striker for me, but he was speaking the truth. Arsenal do tend to collapse in February when it's crunch time. And also, Giroud has won trophies as well. He's won the Europa League, the Champions League, the FA Cup with Chelsea. And for Ødegaard to come on and disrespect Giroud was absolutely disgusting. Ødegaard should be ashamed of himself. He always has this idea of defending Arsenal when pundits like Giroud and Henry are speaking their minds about Arteta. It continues to disappoint me with these other Top Gooner fans like Ødegaard, Stricto, and all these other morons. And also another thing as well, and there's another thing that I would like to say regarding the whole the incident of the VAR. I understand this season the referees are a bit out of control with their decision, but this referee, he should have at least looked at the VAR again and see if the Everton penalty stood, because in my mind I felt that penalty should have gone to Everton in my mind, because of the way that Saliba kicked Barry in the leg. So Everton, we were lucky to have got away with that with a win, but I'm not
we will not be. I'm not even confident we will be lucky against the 3 games coming up, going forward to the new year.
You know, and just one thing that you want to, that I just want to just to like comment on that. All these top gooners say, like all they want is consistency with the refereeing, consistency like with VAR. Like they always bring it up when it goes against us, but they are absolutely silent. They go missing. You can find their face on the side of a milk carton when it is in our favor. Like if they truly want consistency, you have to call it out when it actually goes in your favor as well, not just when it goes against you. And so yeah, I just want to make a mention of that, because there's always like this double standard that that the world is out to get Arteta, the universe is out to get Arteta, the body's out to get Arteta, Tinkerbell and like in the Easter Bunny's out to get Arteta. Everyone's out to get Arteta. It sounds like everyone has an agenda except for the ones backing a manager over the club that they claim to support.
Northside, I just have one question to ask you, right? Because right now Arteta is at his final 18 months of his contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen to Berta? What's Berta going to do if he doesn't win anything at the end of the year? That's the thing I'm looking at right now because like right now it's at his final 18 months, and I like Berta so far because Berta's probably looking at it like, hey, like, if you ain't winning nothing, then you got to go. Like, we ain't having this in our team. You know what I mean? So what do you think about that, man?
With Berta's situation, I feel like Berta's probably like, whatever, get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? Like, who really cares? He's just come in. The whole fan base are on board. You know what I mean? With what Berta's done. I think his work has spoken for itself. I think he got a lot of the targets most fans wanted. Whether those players, live up to the hype is kind of outside of his powers. He's also got a lot of players' contracts signed. The whole is Saliba going to Real Madrid. He killed that off by giving him a new contract. Gabriel getting a new contract, tying down Skelly and Ethan to new contracts, tying down Dowman, gonna get the Saka deal done. So I feel like Berta's probably he's chilling, bro. Like he's somebody that's come at the end of this. You know what I mean? If Edu was still here, that would be a different conversation, I think. Because people probably look at him and think, well, you've been here for the whole project. What have you really bought? It'd be a different conversation. I think Berta, he knows he's good. If anything, he's been a positive reinforcement to this club in terms of getting deals done early and tying our best assets down. So I think Berta's cool, man. Like he's not going to get any of this heat from this project because this is 6 years deep. He's just come in, so he's completely like, he's in the green. I think he's kind of like whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's probably looking at it thinking he probably want to work with at least, he knows that every manager is going to want certain players. They're not going to always agree. He didn't always agree working under previous managers, but I think he'd probably be like, yo, I'd rather just work with a winner. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's trying to create a squad that can win the league, but he needs a manager that's tactically on the same level and can get the most out of those players. I think he's probably got some pushback at times with this manager getting, no guards and players like that, these steady eddies. But it's kind of like, why are we adding that to the team? So yeah, I think Berta's cool, man. Berta and the set piece coach, they're probably the sweet ones. Like at the whole club, they're like, yo, we're good. We're doing our job. Set piece coach is doing his job. Berta's doing his job. They're probably like, yo, over to you, Arteta. Our jobs are not on the line. You get me? So I think he's good, man. I think he's good.
Yeah.
Off volley.
The only reason why I asked that, I don't mean to cut you off. The reason why I asked that is because, like, I look at it like, if this happens, right? If this happens at the end of the season, right? Like, especially him being here for 6 years, maybe in Berta's mind, like, he's looking at that. What's going on? Because remember the time with the whole Victor Gyökeres situation, and I have to big up Berta for that because remember we were having that discussion that Arteta didn't want. He wanted Sesko and Berta went for Gyökeres instead. So the thing is that like I'm looking at the situation now that if this keeps going on and we are saying that we want to tether out, probably Berta could be looking at it like, hey, like I want him out too, because like especially for the amount of time that Arteta has been here, man. So I just hope that like they quickly get a replacement, because honestly, man, like I would have taken Emery. I wouldn't have gotten rid of Emery, honestly, because look how Emery is doing it in Villa right now, man. Like Aston Villa, they're third, they're top 4 right now. Like Aston Villa is now in top 4. Like that's crazy, man.
So personally, I think that. So as an American, like the Cronkies have various sports franchises here in the U.S., right? They have the Denver Nuggets, they have the LA Rams, they have the Colorado Avalanche, and all their franchises, apart this one, have won like major honors, and we also know as well that for the most part, football is still becoming a very nascent. Well, it's becoming a more popularized sport in the U.S. But it's still a secondary sport in contrast to say, like American football or basketball or baseball. But so to that end, the reason why I say that is because when looking at it from the Cronkies' perspective, they saw Arteta. They saw the assistant coach for one of the best managers, not only in the league but in the world at that time, right? And still is. And considering that they don't know anything about football, they saw that association. They also saw that player, that person used to be a player for the club, and they perhaps thought naturally, just because he was working alongside Pep, that maybe something would have rubbed off, that that he would be able to demonstrate success on his own accord. But the reason why they've brought in Berta is because they have realized that they've been duped. They have been duped. They have realized that their $1.2 billion investment in just transfers alone has proven to be a failure. And if things were all kosher, like in the back room, like behind the curtains at Arsenal, Edu would still be here, Vinay would still be here, all these other people that used to comprise our board of directors, they would still be here. Tim Lewis, Jason Ado, these people would still be here if everything was okay. But the only people that have remained, that have been unscathed in this, have been the owners, Mikel Arteta, and Richard Garlick. As far as I know, those are the only 3 people that have really been able to survive this regime. And I would not be surprised, even if we were to say win like the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, which personally I don't think we're going to be winning anything this year. I think our transfer window was a 5 out of 10, and I think above all else, despite all the passengers in the bus that we may have, and despite a few of those passengers not being good enough to ride on the bus that we're driving, it is the driver of the bus that's the problem. The driver of the bus has been crashing into light poles and into mailboxes for the last 6 years. So I would not be surprised just to see like this man, like Andrea Burdick, he's moving like a bad man. This man is an experienced head in the industry. He's going to drag Arteta by the ankles, kicking and screaming out of the Emirates, because we know that Arteta's not going to be walking on his own accord. He's not going to be walking away from 15.6 million a season. He's not going to be. They'll write it up as leaving by mutual consent, but there is a reason why all of these media pieces just in the last 48 hours talking about how Arteta has never seen himself as a manager. Like, this is all being prepared to soften the blow that Arteta's toast. He's done. Dunzo out here.
I hear it, bro. Half volley. What you saying, man? How you feeling about today's game, bro?
What you saying? North. How you feeling, man? Congratulations on the new apartment.
Bro, thank you, bro.
And yeah, nah, I mean, the mood, I was listening in the background, the mood is quite sullen, isn't it? Because once again, we've seen a very predictable performance and we've got away with one, you know. I think the evidence is increasingly starting to show that this manager hasn't got the bravery to maximize the output of this team. And I've always said, you know, I think it's easy to admit some of the good things about him so that you can critically see where he's falling short. So I've always said that, look, I think he's a half decent manager. He's done some very good things at this club, which, you know, we're grateful for. But what we're trying to get to, which is the holy grail, you need an elite manager. And the evidence, I think, is starting to show that, you know, the manager has some very bad habits. You know, he has these bad habits, which are, you know, you probably have to take him to some nuclear wash to get rid of these bad habits, because it's just impossible to get rid of. Now, keeping in mind that Everton were actually missing some of their key players in this game, you know, they've all gone to AFCON. That was very difficult to watch. You know, that was extremely tough. And you know, I think Everton should have got a penalty, to be honest, from that kick by Saliba. It was only, you know, overruled, or it wasn't given by VAR because of the high bar of the on-pitch referee. So the on-pitch referee hasn't given it. So VAR didn't think it was right to intervene, which is fine. But I think for me, the worrying thing about this game is that at some point we're going to come unstuck. We all know it, right? It's all good to say we're top of the league. You know, we City went on top of the league for a couple of hours. We're now back on top. But the signs are showing that if we carry on playing like this, we're going to get eventually turned over, whether it's by Brighton in the coming weekend or Aston Villa. So, yeah, look, I've always said I'll reserve judgment on this manager until the end of the season to see whether he can actually get over the line. But, you know, it will be foolish to ignore the evidence that's right in front of us that, you know, the guy, for me, it's the lack of bravery. I mean, look at Ødegaard again, comes over on 87 minutes, right, North. He was shattered. You look at him, he looked malnourished. So how we've got Ethan on the bench, we've got Eze on the bench, and we're struggling to control this game, and you're telling me that even Eze can't come on for 10 minutes, or Ethan, or even Norgard, you know, and then the game was starting to, you know, filter out in the same manner that it did when we conceded that goal against Wolves, and then the game against Villa. You can see Everton, you know, all they had to do was just punt one long ball into the box, bit of a scramble, all of a sudden we concede. So the thing with Arteta is I think he has some very bad habits, and when the going gets tough, he goes back to what he already knows. Watching that game is like watching us back in 22-23 for some of the games. I mean, Jesus, you know, knocking 5-yard passes near the corner flag, wasting time. That was just absolutely disgusting to watch. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, knocking this guy should be offloaded in January to the next team that's willing to take him. I don't care what our football has evolved away from these players. So what are we doing playing the same way? So he takes off Ødegaard, and then he brings on Merino back into midfield. And we know Merino in midfield is not particularly effective. It's not nice to watch. So we've got all this talent on the bench. The manager's refusing to use them, and he's doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And I think eventually, you know, like I say, we're going to come unstuck. And some people watching the stream will say, well, you guys are complaining. You won the game. That's what champions do. You're top of the league. Stop moaning. But we know. We've seen this story before. It has a very familiar feel to it. You know, it has a very, very familiar feel to it. And it will be very idiotic to ignore the signs and say, oh, okay, let's just wait till the inevitable happens. So that was very difficult to watch. I mean, and that's all I'm going to say. It was just extremely... My head was hurting after that game. I had to step outside for a bit.
Do you know what? You're right. You're right in calling out tactically what we're doing and how it does feel. We've been through it so many times that it's easy. You know, we know what the feeling's like when you're like, okay, we feel like there's a ceiling. We're not going to be able to win a major honor. I feel like um I feel like this manager has really been stung from the last couple of league title races. I feel like it's affected him in a way that he just feels like, let me just play it safe. I think he looks back on 22-23 like a gamble. If you compare his mentality now to then, he probably looks at that's like just erratic. But the thing is, he was so close to being right. All he needed to do is adapt his approach depending on how the game's going, what the opposition is, what the scoreline is. But now you see he he lifts up the handbrake at 1-0. He tries to defend at 1-0. Like, yeah, we hit the post twice, but we wasn't really going for it. Everton were the team that started off the second half with the trying to press us, and we don't even press as a team. We don't press as a team. Our front line doesn't really understand what each other's doing. I think our fullbacks are getting confused as well because we're so slow in transition. It becomes so backward sideways. You're looking at Calafiori feeling like he's got to stretch the pitch. Timber feels like he's got to stretch the pitch as well. The fact that Saka's struggling against the fullback, you see Timber's the one trying to give him another option, and Timber's one of the few people trying to take on players. I think that's why also our centre backs pushed so high up because they try to progress the ball. Because Zubimendi is very stale, it's very sideways, backwards. It's not like a Partey, even though he's playing a deeper role, he would still pick a pass. He still had that vision. He could still scan the field and see, oh, okay, I see a run. Cool. Let me start counter attack from deep. And I feel like the the manager's constantly barking orders and shouting him out of his technical box. And I'm like, but you keep barking orders, but the football doesn't change, bro. The football doesn't change. I see this manager shouting at the players at halftime, or not even halftime. Every time the ball goes out of play, he's always like, right, come round, team huddle, and I'm like, it can't be the students, it's the teacher. Because how many times is the teacher going to teach the lesson and the students don't understand what they're supposed to do? It's the teacher, bro. It's not the students. The teacher's not, you're either not effective enough at getting your message across, or the message is wrong. The message that you're sending is wrong within itself. But you can't say you're not happy with this football. But we've seen you play this football for at least the last 3 years. And no matter what players are given to you, Eze that can express himself, Ethan that is a player that likes to go forward, likes to attack, showed it against Club Brugge. Dalman that will always go forward, always try to ask questions of the fullback. You've got players, you've got Madueke that is direct. I'm not saying these players are not faultless, but these players are players that want to express themselves. They want to go forward. They want to actually attack. You still play this football. This whole Arteta pieces stuff was nonsense. He's choosing not to play like that. Let's be honest, yeah. He didn't have a clinical striker when he played attacking football, 22-23 season. The team wasn't, in terms of numbers, wasn't as big as it is now. You didn't have Eze, you didn't have Gyökeres, you didn't have certain players, and you still played it. So what's the excuse now? This manager, I just feel like I just hate how he makes it seem like, no, we want to play attacking football and we want to go. You don't, Mikel. You don't. You don't want to play attacking football. You don't want to go forward. You don't want to put teams to the sword. You want to go a little 1-0 up and then shut up shop, a little 2-1 like he did against Sunderland, think that you can shut up shop. We're not getting anywhere like this, bro. I'm just it's just jarring, bro. Like, you know what it is? It's tiring saying the same thing like about this manager. Like, just change it up, bro. Like, I'm tired of repeating myself. I'm tired of trying to analyze what he's doing because nothing ain't really changing. Like, nothing's really changing. It's the same old approach, same old subs, same old not using certain players that are not favorites. I'm just, yeah, this manager has a way of making the easiest games a chore. he has a knack for making it seem like, oh my days, this is such a it's not easy going to Everton. Oh, it's not easy going to Wolves. Nah, man.
You know, I just want to piggyback on what you just said there. That Northside, what you just described, you know, like making meals out of matches like this. Arteta learned this from Wenger while Arteta was playing here for Arsenal, because we would also make meals out of you know, going to St. Andrews, playing against Birmingham City. We would make meals out of, you know, going up to Stoke City. We would make meals out of going up to Blackpool. You know, like we would make meals out of teams that should not be, rather, you know, that we should be, you know, it should be a comfy, smooth 3-0, call it a day. You know, like in the and the fact that we look like Dagon Red, you know, like going out, you know, like like on the pitch, like looking like AFC Wimbledon or Barnet. Seriously, like 1.2 billion quid. Like, rather we've spent all this money to look like this, to have a squad still thin on quality and depth. Again, like just the fact alone that we're still talking about players. Bless you. You know, the fact that we're still talking about players and profiles that are, you know, that don't exist in the squad, that should be damning alone. That should be a sack right there in and of itself. The fact that you have spent this much and we're still talking about missing pieces, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the problem I think Arteta's got, and we've said this on this channel so many times, he's very rigid and risk averse, and you can't win major trophies when you're of that disposition. You know, you need to be braver. Sometimes you need to go out there and bulldoze teams. And I think Everton today, I mean, it wasn't even particularly like a physical test where you can see like the game was really tough for us. It was played at a decent pace. We had the bench to win it. And I feel like Arteta is doing to Eze what he did to Sterling last season. As bad as Sterling was, I think there were certain games where he could have come in and relieved the load on some players. But again, you're telling me against a team like Everton, we can't bring on Ødegaard against a tiring team to just shore up the midfield, which was wide open because the captain, as usual, disappears. And I know Zubimendi is not everybody's cup of tea, but me, when I look at our players, right, the a couple of things minimum I expect, right? Effort, application, and bravery. Just commitment. Just show me. Even if you're a limited player and you're shite, right? If you're running and you're applying yourself and you're showing bravery, I can respect that. The reason why I have an issue with this captain is the lack of bravery. And that shows time and time again. I'm not saying he's poor technically. He clearly has, you know, he's very good technically, but it's the lack of bravery. And every time we go to these tough away games and we haven't got the ball, we look like we're playing with 10 men. So what are we doing with the captain, Brentford captain, on the bench who could come on and help consolidate the game? Even with Zubimendi, right? I know Zubimendi is no party, but I can respect him. Look, he puts his foot in, he runs, but he's limited in the number of areas. But even this penalty that he nearly gave away, and we tracked back the Everton striker, that's what, you know, he went shoulder to shoulder with it. That's the minimum I expect. If you're a limited player, cool. Just put the effort in and show some bravery. I'm looking around the pitch and I'm seeing our captain, you know, laying hospital passes, trying to get our players injured, consistently under-hitting passes. And this manager's watching him. It's like, I feel like Ødegaard is like, I don't know how you describe it, but Arteta has got this fetish for him. It's a fetish at this juncture. That's what I'd call it, right? And the same with Jesus. And he's trying to win the Premier League with the 22-23 operating system that's been upgraded. You've now got the best possible. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Maybe he likes our old Chevy, innit? Maybe he likes the, you know what I mean? He likes the old school.
It's madness what we're watching. It's like we're stuck in a time warp. We've seen this before 3 years ago.
If he was justified playing Ødegaard, then it would be different. If Ødegaard was putting in the performances we've seen of Eze in comparison, then we'd be like, okay, do you know what? Like Odegaard's playing really well. Like we've given praise to like Trossard and Martinelli at times this season because they've improved a lot. Their performances from the last 2 years, because their performances were dropping off of a cliff. So if you perform, we'll give you the praise. But it's like we can see the clear improvement of Eze in the team. And I'm not saying that Eze is performs week in, week out, because he definitely doesn't. But he's not been in the team. He's literally just come to the team and he's already shown more than Ødegaard. Like, that's embarrassing. Ødegaard's been here for years and he's captain. And it's like, why are you doing that? We were fine. Like, Ødegaard being injured wasn't a hindrance to us. Let's just it's sad, but it was true. It wasn't a hindrance to us winning against a lot of big teams. It wasn't a hindrance for us against Bayern. It wasn't a hindrance for us in North London Derby. It wasn't a hindrance for us against Atletico. Like, we're able to win these games regardless of Ødegaard. Like, we don't need Ødegaard like that. Like, the team, the aspirations of the team have outgrown certain players. Ødegaard, Havertz, Jesus, all these players, our aspirations are outgrown them. They're not the players to help us reach there. If they're going to be involved, they need to be part players. But he's trying to make part players into the main guys, and it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And that's, I think, what the worst thing is. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and also the fact is, like, another thing that makes me a bit pissed off about Ødegaard is the fact that when we got a penalty, Ødegaard was going to take it, but then Gyökeres, big up to him, he said, "Give me the fucking ball. I'm taking this penalty." And now these dickhead fan base are gonna say, "Oh, look at our captain. He's a very respected man. Like, he knows." He's one of the most respected captains in Arsenal. Bro, nobody fucking cares. That is why Ødegaard is one of the most hated captains in the world. Last season, they were saying, "Silky skills from our captain," when we lost 1-0 to West Ham. Do you guys remember that? You guys remember that? When we lost 1-0 to West Ham and these fucking fan base clowns said, "Silky skills from our captain." And then the other season before that, when we lost 3-1 to Man City, they then said, "Oh, Martin Ødegaard is the next Dennis Bergkamp." Like, the amount of times this fan base continue to hype up this Norwegian Miley Cyrus, it's just so jarring. Like, I just don't know, like, what is it about Ødegaard that makes the fan base think that he's special? Like, did they not watch any clips of Dennis Bergkamp and Freddie Ljungberg over the years? Like, have they not, like, learned the history of Arsenal? Like,
hell, Macy, they don't even have to go as they don't have to go as far back as that. Like, I mean, like, like players, like even players like Hleb, players like Nasri, like Cesc, Arshavin, Rosicky. Like, Ødegaard doesn't even get into the same room as them. I mean, like rather not even mentioning Santi and Ozil, right? I mean, like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, people really and truly rate Ødegaard over Ozil. Can't write it.
That's why I always bring up Aaron Ramsey, because I feel like Aaron Ramsey was kind of a player looked at like, well, you're good in it, but you're not Santi level, you're not Hleb level, you're not, you know what I mean, you're not Bergkamp level, you're not like, one of our legends. But even him goes way above somebody like Ødegaard. Like, Ødegaard, at least I seen Aaron Ramsey turn up for us in the FA Cup finals. That's a leader. And we were like, yeah, FA Cup's good, but we want league titles, which cool. But he was still to a level to at least get you some titles. He understood how to get you there. He understood that he has to step up. Aaron Ramsey was someone that was very undervalued by the fan base in terms of his ability. Even when we look at like Theo Walcott, he was somebody that was always put up against TT. It's like, well, you're not quite TT. Let's be real. Theo Walcott right now is better than, bro, I would even say he's better than Saka right now. Because Theo Walcott didn't need a number 10 to open to get to beat players. Theo Walcott didn't need that, bro. Yeah. Theo Walcott, and I'm not saying Theo Walcott's world class or anything else like that. I'm just saying he was very undervalued. And right now you see these robotic, limited wingers, and you look back and thought, you know what, actually, Theo Walcott wasn't that bad. I think we was getting onto him because there was so many great wingers around, but he actually wasn't that bad. Like,
well, you know, like it also, well, I mean, like, to be fair, like he was missing a lot of chances, and we were always giving Walcott a lot of shtick just because he was always missing so easy chances, and also like he had so much pace that he, that it was just bountiful, but we were never really exploiting it, and there was also even the time where we were thinking that he was being played out of position, because he was oftentimes like being played on the wing, and then there was like a few years where he was being played as like a striker and false nine, but but to that end, like he was able to create like create his own chances. Like he was beating players multiple times, like rather like in a course of action, and he I mean, do you think that Saka ever like gets his pace back, or do you think like he's do you think like his legs are done forever?
I looked at him today and I thought, I don't know me, I don't know what you guys think, but I looked at him and I was like, you look like you're flipping knackered, man. You look like these injuries have taken something out of you. Like even his face, like when he misses the ball and when the ball goes out of play and he can't get to it as fast as you used to, you can see him be like, like he looks frustrated. Like when I look at him, normally Saka's someone like everything, like brush everything off, whatever, nothing affects him. I don't know. He looks different now. Like he looks like things actually like are really getting to him. Do you know what I mean? Like he seems annoyed about something. And I don't know if he's annoyed with his own body, he's annoyed with the system, he's annoyed. He just seems way more frustrated. Like, and he's not really a player that used to really be emotional like that. Do you know what I mean? But now he looks annoyed. I don't know what. I think these injuries have taken it out of him. I think it's affected his body, and as much as he still is the player that he was, his body ain't reacted as fast enough because he looks much slower, man. He ain't got that burst of pace when I see him now. I'm like, yo, Saka used to get to those second balls. Now you just, it's like, and it looks like he's like breathing heavier and he's more like sluggish in the way that he's running, the way that he's about. I don't know. He don't seem as intense as he used to be. He doesn't look like as lean as he used to be as well. Because, your weight affects your speed. It affects everything, innit? I don't know. He just doesn't seem the same. Like when I watch him, I was like, Saka you don't look. Something's up here, man. And if Arteta was playing him through pain, that shit's finished him. That shit's finished him. Especially with like going so long, playing so many games, and then getting injured, and then playing through pain, that's going to affect your body because your body's already fatigued. Then it's trying to recover from fatigue. Then you're playing through the fatigue, bro. I reckon it's done him. I don't think we see prime Saka anymore.
So do you think that maybe we should sell him then, or consider it?
Yeah,
I would. This fan base will never do it though, and Arteta knows that would be the final death of him.
yeah, because as I said before, if we keep playing Saka every single game, when he turns 26, his career will be finished by then. Because I already mentioned the likes of Michael Owen and Wayne Rooney, their careers were finished when they were 26 years old. So Saka's on that list. So from now on, Saka should just take maybe like a few weeks off and just rest up because next year is a massive.
He can't though. You know why he can't rest, bro? The manager won't rest him.
Yeah,
he won't rest him.
Yeah,
why did he play 90 minutes today? We shouldn't have to play him 90 minutes today. Did he play 90 against Wolves?
Yeah,
he did. He played 90 minutes. He didn't even get subbed off.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even, I don't even rate Madueke, but the fact that he didn't get after that performance against Club Brugge, like that's why aren't these tin pot Fisher Price journalists asking that in the pressers, right? Well, I mean, like obviously rhetorical because we know why they're not asking it, but that's what they should be asking.
Yeah, I think you see when you watch some of our players, right, it looks like they've aged beyond what their wear and tear is just been massive. When you look, some of these players have been overworked. They've been loaded like donkeys. And even Ødegaard at 27, he just looks like an old man. Honestly.
Guy's a scrub. Guy's a
Yeah.
scrub.
When you watch him, you're like, he looks spent. He looks like he hasn't got any physical power left. And even Rice is on the same trajectory. Another year, and Declan Rice is going to be spent as well. This manager is running them to the ground. You know, Havertz, 26 years old.
As well.
Sorry? Yeah, look, Havertz. How old is Havertz? 26. Again, injuries. Apparently, his last injury because we're doing some sprinting lessons in fucking Dubai. Sorry to swear. After the guy went down in Newcastle in the Carling Cup, you know, his legs were gone. These guys are being overworked like horses, and they're showing some serious signs of wear and tear. That's why Saka has lost the explosiveness. He's picked up so many muscle injuries. He's lost that burst of pace. Sooner or later, that's going to happen to Madueke. What's his name? Supermendy, 26 years old. I mean, we've got a relatively young team, but for some reason, we seem to lack that spark, especially from the younger players. Look at Timber again. Ben White, 28. He looks gone. He's done. Picking up muscle injuries. So we need, for me, right, whatever happens at the end of the season with this manager and whatever direction the club decides to go, we just need, I think, if this manager cannot learn, which looks an impossible task for him, to play with a bit more control so that we can preserve our energy and our resources to the business end of the season. This was 17 games in. There's another 22 games left. We're not even halfway through the season and we look shattered. And that's a worrying thing for me. You look at Man City, Pep is smart enough to play the long game. He knows I just want to be in touch with 10 games to go and then I'll start sprinting. We look like we're playing drum and bass. We're too intense. You know, we're too intense and it's too early in the season to be showing these signs of wear and tear. That tells me that when it comes to the business end of the season, we're just not going to have the spark to really go on that run like it happened last season. So that's the worry. I don't know whether it's these managers' methods, whether it's his philosophy, whether these players, our training methods or the diet or whatever it is. We just don't. You can count on one hand the good games we've had this season. Newcastle away, you can see very direct, powerful. Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Spurs, and probably who else you can say. But in all those games, right, you can see the makeup of the team. We were very direct, and it was quick football. So the football we play is closely linked to the players we play. Soon as Ødegaard comes back, soon as Jesus comes back, the football has just gone back to what it used to be: slow, boring, monotonous. You're watching it, you're like, what the hell am I watching? Am I stuck in the time warp? Like I said. So it's very worrying when you watch this team, and especially today's performance. 17 games into the season, the team looks like it's already on the beach. So what's it going to be? What's going to happen come around March, April, when we actually need to be playing with tempo and power to potentially, overcome a Man City team that looks like they're not going to go away anytime soon?
I don't feel like he ever changes his rotation style and the workload he puts on the players, no matter how much money he spends, because the same lack of rotation we saw 22-23 is the same kind of lack of rotation we see now. That there's no difference. And I think even when he tries to make it seem like he's I'm gonna rest players against Slavia Prague, a lot of his starters still come on, I've realized, around like the 70th mark. So that means that they're coming out, they're getting about 30 plus add-on of the game, probably 35 minutes. They need full rest. They don't need to be subbed. There's other players there to be selected. But he don't give anyone a full rest. Even when he rotates the squad, flipping Port Vale, still when a player Gabriel, Saliba, or flipping Saka come on for 30 minutes, they need a rest. He doesn't understand. He thinks a rest is like, oh, well, You're not playing. You just play. I don't know, 30, 40% of the game. You're not going to be playing 90% of the game. And it's like, no, rest players. Some players don't need to travel. Some players don't need to be with the squad. They can just rest. You can see they're on the red zone. And then he comes out in press conferences and said, oh, but I see that certain players, they're on the red zone and we need to make sure that they're not going to, Zubamendi was because he doesn't need to train because we're monitoring his workload. But you're playing him every fucking game, bro. Don't talk to me that you're managing his minutes when it comes to training. I thought this is the same manager that said we don't have time to train. Now all of a sudden you're managing the training. How does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? It's annoying, bro. Like I just feel like this guy doesn't really trust his squad. He'll spend all this money. He don't trust his squad. He's got the people that he trusts. They must play no matter what. Even if anything goes sideways in the cups, he must bring them on. It's only like the first 2-3 stages of the cup games you see him trust the team, but that's because of the level of opposition. You know what I mean? Like when Ethan burst into the scene and Skelly, you know what I mean? They were playing teams like flipping Preston North End and stuff like that. So he's like, yeah, we're good. We don't need to bring on a Saka. Like, it's fine with what we can rotate. As soon as we start getting a bit further ahead in these competitions, that's when you really see he don't trust these players. He trusts his starting 11, and that's it. Everybody else is kind of like, we'll use you sparingly. And it's like, how can you be at a club 6 years? This is not a team you inherited. This is actually a team you've built. A team you built, and yet you don't trust them. And I'm not saying that every single player on the bench has to be a 10 out of 10, but we can see situations where you can utilize them, or games where they could be effective, or opposition that they could be effective against. But he just never chooses to do that. It has to be his favorites. And even the wear and tear that you talk about, if a lot of our injuries this season has been the cause of his lack of rotation in previous seasons. Both our centre backs, wear and tear, both of them, because he ran both of them into the ground since he's had them. As soon as he brought back Saliba from loan, he's been running him into the ground. He's turned into one of his favourites, run him into the ground. Ben White has been ran into the ground, bro. He's been holding in that right back role, and there's been no rotation. We've rotated on the left-hand side, but not on the right-hand side. He's been run into the ground until we went and got Timber. Do you know what I mean? You look at flipping Declan Rice, since he's come here, he's been running Declan Rice into the ground. Ødegaard's been run into the ground. Saka already knows been run into the ground. So all these injuries that we've seen, like a lot of them has been caused by this guy. Just run him into the ground. Even Calafiori had to not come back. Look how look Calafiori every game. Does Calafiori need to start against flipping Wolves and Everton? No, he could rest. I'm not a fan of him, but you could rest him, bro. If you're gonna start him all the time. No, we must start. Calafiori's back, must start. Must get straight back into the team. Jesus is back from injury. Right. Cool. We're gonna see how many games we can push out of Gabriel Jesus, which I don't mind that he's subbing him on. And cool, but you'll see, bro. As soon as he gets the green light that he thinks he can play him, he's gonna push the player. All right, cool. We need him to start. Bro, it's just frustrating. Gyökeres got an injury. As soon as he's back, look, every game. He came back from injury, bro, and he's every game because he hasn't got injured. Just keep running him into the ground. We don't even know if he's fit. We don't know, because let's not go on like this manager's transparent with injuries, because he's not. So I don't know, bro. Is Gyökeres even? I'm not trying to make excuses for Gyökeres before anyone thinks I'm trying to make excuses. I'm just saying, some people thought Trossard was fit. Then he comes out and says he was risking him against Villa. Some people thought Saliba was fit, but then he said, I'm risking him against Wolves. So it's not crazy for me to think, is Gyökeres even fit? Because I don't know what to believe.
And it's a little bit crazy to think as well that, like, considering how slow our attacking play is, like I mean, like it almost seems like it seems a little bit half-assed backwards, like it seems a little bit ironic for the fact that we run so intense, and that we are and we are like running players to the bone, like, but we're not. But rather, like, we're not also like attacking them at like breakneck pace, right? Like that seems like a little bit seems a little bit peculiar there, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. For me, one thing I would say is, and I know fans are going to complain, but I'd rather see proper rotation this part of the season so we can swallow the pain. We can take the pain, we can take some losses, so that when it comes to the business end, we've got our backup players match fit, everybody can contribute. The approach that Arteta is taking at the moment, running this group of players to the ground, is that come the back end of the season when we actually need them, first of all, some of these players might not be available due to whatever injuries, etc., or tiredness. And then the ones that he has to rely on, the Norgards, the Ethans, etc., they won't be match fit. And then fans will turn on them for not stepping in and delivering 10 out of 10 performances. You know, this manager is not giving these players the opportunity to stay match fit so that they can contribute when we need them. So it's a huge, the way he's managing this squad is a suicide mission. It's a suicide mission, which is going to fail unless he changes course, because he's playing too many, a lot of players are seeing too many minutes, and we've got adequate players on the bench who can come in and play their part, but he's not playing them. So it's going to be a catch-22 come February, March, when the games are coming thick and fast. Suddenly you need to bring on Ethan. He comes in, he loses the ball, he's not match fit. Fans turn on him. You bring on Norgard, he gets cussed. You know, this is what we can see. We've seen this before. We've seen this story play out. And he's doing the same thing again. And that's the worry. You know, like you said, North, why does bloody, if you're managing a player's minutes because they're in the red zone, why the flipping hell are they playing against teams like Wolves and Everton? You're playing Zubimendi game in, game out. You know, to the extent that even when the game is settled, you can't be brave enough to look at your bench and say, there you go, you know, go and do a job. And like you say as well, the thing that worries me is the micromanagement on the touch line. You know, them trying to control all aspects. It's like a video game. Trust these players, let them get on with it. I think it was it last week when Ethan came on and he lost the ball, and you can see Arteta immediately, his reaction. Like, let the guy play. He's gonna make mistakes. And we'll learn from it. This is this time of the season, right? This early, the penalty is not as severe as it would be towards the back end if we were still in a title race. So give these guys some grace. Trust them. The problem I think Arteta's got is he has the same bravery issue in terms of his management that his captain has when it comes to actually delivering on the pitch. That's why they're a match made in heaven.
So, from your metric, would you rotate against Crystal Palace then? So, against Crystal Palace, would you like rotate a few players?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the Palace game because you know what? We'll probably, at the very least, get to see Ethan. We'll get to see Eze. We'll actually possibly get to see some decent football. If this manager goes and picks his favourites again, we'll probably get turned over, honestly. So it's not a question of rotation, right? We have a big squad, and I'm sure Palace are probably going to rest players as well because they've got a game 3 days after. We've got, I think, after the Palace game, we've got Brighton at home.
Yeah, 4 days. Yeah.
Yeah, so they look, every team that meets us, everybody's rotating. Pep is rotating. Slot is rotating. Yep. Everybody's rotating apart from Arteta. Even when Brentford came to the Emirates, one of their best players, Henderson, was on the bench. Yet their former captain can't even get a game. I feel so sorry for Norgard for that particular game. Can you imagine meeting your former teammates, a whole captain, and you're warming the bench and you can't even come on against your former team? How embarrassing is that? How demoralizing is that?
You should be starting.
I'll stick in a transfer request in January and piss off. Honestly, that is the worst insult you can ever get when you face your former team and your manager can't be brave enough to bring you on to actually show that, actually, you know what, you're playing for a bigger side and you can come on against your former team. You can't even share the same pitch with your former team who just happened to rotate as well because they thought, you know what, we don't want to see our players injured and overloaded. But this manager, in his infinite wisdom, thought, you know what, I'm just going to pick my favorites and go with it. And at this juncture, we're going to limp to the finish line. This team is going to limp to the finish line if this manager doesn't change his ways. And we've seen it before.
I think the fact that with some of the players that he picks, he does not want to rotate. I think he's scared against other opponents. I think he's just scared the fact that if he rotates, then we might concede a goal or something like that, which is really ridiculous because I just feel as though the fact that some of the players should be starting. I mean, for the Everton game, Madueke should be starting ahead of Saka. I mean, right now, the way he played against Club Brugge and he got dropped to the bench was absolutely disgusting. If I were Madueke, I'd be fuming. But you know what? You know what's like with Arteta, attitude problems. The time when he kicked Aubameyang out for that. It's going to be the same with Madueke if he keeps this attitude. So this is the problem I have with this manager, right? You have Madueke on the bench. I don't want to see Zubimendi play ever again. I'd rather if he just sat on the bench because the guy has been a liability since he's been here. I think the guy hasn't been great. When you press this guy, he folds. He should have given a free kick, by the way. That was a clear foul. I don't know what the referee was thinking there. The guy's never been an upgrade on Partey. I just don't understand what the overhype the guy gets because of his line-breaking passes. How's it going, people? How's the line-breaking passes turning out to be?
Great question.
Because where are the line-breaking passes? Can someone explain to me what are line-breaking passes? Because I have no idea.
The pickpockets have gotten them. Sorry, the pickpockets have stolen all the line-breaking passes.
Can you explain to me what it is? Because I don't know what line-breaking passes are. Ødegaard keeps saying, "Oh, look at the line-breaking passes." I'm so confused. That can someone explain to me what it is? I don't know what these random buzzwords they come out with. Can you explain to me, please?
I mean, I'm imagining that it's like the final ball. Rather like going into like the 18-yard box.
Yeah. I mean,
the guy wrong with people just chilling. Like, people don't need to. You don't have to form an opinion on a player that you don't know. Like when we got Timber, I fully said I was like, I don't know. I'll give it time. When we got Calafiori, I said I don't know. I'll give it some time. When I see them like playing for Arsenal, I'll give a certain amount of games, then I have my opinion. I feel like so many people, especially Arsenal fans, always want to act like they're a specialist on players, and it's like it's fine. We don't have the time. Most of us don't have the time to be watching all these games. A lot of times it's impossible because they're playing at the same time. So it's like, even when we got Fabio Vieira, I told man, yo, he's right there telling me, nah, he's how many Portuguese games have you watched this season? And I ain't talking about Champions League. And it's just like, they're all just craving to be first. Like, oh, I was the first to back him. It's like, it's okay to not know much about a player. It's fine. There's nothing wrong about it. We keep getting linked to Yildiz. I've not watched enough of him to be like, yeah, he's a baller. You know what I mean? I've not watched. I haven't, so I can't form that opinion. It'd be disingenuous of me to be like, yeah, he's a baller because everyone's saying he's a baller. I'm like, I don't know. But if we bring him in, then I'll give you my real opinion on him. But I don't watch him enough. You know, so it's just one of those ones, bro. Like people just, this fan base love to gas a player up. It just gets them excited. It's like, I don't know, man. I think this club has been too long without silverware, and it just makes the fan base love to talk about the most irrelevant things sometimes, or hang their hat on the most irrelevant things.
They might think that you're a fake fan or something because if you call it Arteta, you're a fake fan. So that's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing from other Top Gooners saying to you, North, to Macy, to Dr. Seymour, to me, they're saying, oh, you're a fake fan, you can't back Arteta. I'm like, well, the aim of the game is to win trophies. I mean, if you don't win trophies, you fail. Is that not simple enough? I think the Top Gooners might find it so confusing to understand. I need someone to come and explain to me what is football about. If football's not about winning trophies, then what is it then? I just don't understand. I mean, we've been now, this is the 6th year, and he's won fuck all. Like, the guy has done absolutely nothing. I mean, you can spend all this money, Mikel, 1.3 billion, You've outspent more than Manchester City. Let's be real. You've outspent more than Manchester City since you've been here, and you have only one trophy to your tally. That's it. That
I
you
think they
can't
just
even.
love it. They lo-
And also, mind you, like he won that trophy before spending all that money.
Yeah, he spent 2 players on loan. They weren't even money. It was on loan. He did
Right.
not spend a single penny in January 2020. And then after that, he spent all this money. He bought so many left backs, some goalkeepers. He can't even improve on his attack. Like, he can't even improve on his attack. What is the point of buying so many goalkeepers? You can't even find one good goalkeeper. So why do you buy Ramsdale or something like that? Why can't you not just stick with Emi Martinez or something like that? You could have had David Rise the backup, fine. But why did we buy Kepa and all this? This would have not happened. But Arteta loves to buy defenders. I mean, Nuno Tavares, we bought him 1 season, he went on loan, and then after we did not see him and we sold him. So it just makes no sense. Like you couldn't even spend money on your left winger, on the right wing, or up top. If we had a backup striker, that would have helped. But this false nine that we're doing, it's never going to work with Mikel Merino as a false nine or Jesus. Let's be real, Jesus is not a striker. He's a false nine. Guys, the guy does not look like a striker to me. It looks like he's more of a false nine.
The problem with that side of the fan base is they think, feel, and comprehend everything with love. Oh, I love the club. But the problem with love, the problem with love doesn't change reality though. You can love something, it may not love you back. You can love something and be blinded by the love. And that's the problem with a lot of these fans, is they think that makes that's a reasonable thing to say, but really and truly, you have to look at things objectively, and your love doesn't change the reality of the situation. You can love Arsenal Football Club, but the reality is we haven't won a major honor for 21 years. You can try and come out with all these context and hypotheticals and all these other things, but the reality is we haven't got over the line for 21 years, regardless of what you say. That doesn't change that fact. And I just feel like too many of them are emotionally led when it comes to this football club, which is why they could be manipulated. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a massive lesson that I think a lot of football fans, some of them never get there, but a lot of them do get there, where it's like, nah, I'm not going to allow my love for my football club to manipulate me. And I got there a long time with my football club. Obviously, I got there with my ex. I think you can't think with love in your head. You have to think logically. Because that's how fans get finessed. That's how Tottenham fans get finessed. That's how Arsenal fans get finessed. And we're talking about football, but this happens in life. You know, love is it's a very dangerous thing when it's put in the hands of uncertain hands, whether that could be a relationship, family, football club, whatever the case may be. You can be manipulated under the pretense of love. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you can have a toxic family, but because you love them and because it's the culture, oh no, I can't. You know, they could manipulate you because they could pull your heartstring. It's the same with a football club, and this is why when they start telling us like it's a family, it's like, well,
It's about the journey
the
as
kind of
well.
love within the family. I'm not really on it. Like, this ain't the kind of love that I want, because the club is disingenuous. They use social media to try and reel you back in. The merchandise, they try and use flipping Ian Wright to try and pull your heartstrings. Oh yeah, Ian Wright, growing up, Ian Wright, even if you didn't grow up with Ian Wright, you know your parents did, or your uncle did, or you know certain things, you know, Ian Wright and everything he did for Arsenal. And it's all a manipulation, bro. It's all a manipulation. But you can only be manipulated if you don't know, if you're ignorant to it, and if you allow it. I will not allow this club to manipulate me. It's 21 years. I'm sorry. Yeah. This is a big club. If I chose to support Barnet, then maybe the expectations would be different because size of club history, etc. But everything that we're demanding of this club is completely reasonable within what this club's established as. I'm not demanding a Champions League, but I am demanding a Premier League. And I have every right to demand a league because I've seen my club win 3. So why can't I demand more Premier Leagues when I've seen my club do it? My club has a history of doing it. They won 10 before the 3 that I saw. Why? You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, man. Like, I think this is the biggest Achilles for men in general. Love. Like, you can love the club, but you can't love it blindly. You can't be deep in love with it. You can't, because then you can't be objective. It's just like being in a relationship. If you're too deep in love in a relationship, you can't see objectively until you pull yourself out of that. Then you can look at it objectively. And this is the problem. So I feel like a lot of fans need to really think about what they're actually saying. Have you actually deeped how love can go either way? You know, crazy in love or crazy. You have to look at your club objectively. You can't just be there applauding everything and saying everything is great, everything's amazing. That's how you get finessed. You can't even be like that with women. You know what I'm saying? More nonchalant you are with women, the more they care.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's what it is, bro. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think men have to reflect on that. I know we're taught that you gotta love and love and love. Nah. You can have love for the club, love for a woman, love for your family, love for your friends, but you can't be in love with these situations because you're not gonna see clear and you're most likely gonna do stupidness. And this is the problem. And once the clubs have realized that they can finesse us, you're not a real fan, but a real fan would do. Who the fuck are the club to tell me how to be a real fan? Who is that person that's telling me that? Because you weren't the reason why I became an Arsenal fan. It was the legends that I saw on the pitch. It was the managers that lifted trophies. So I don't know, man. I think it shows, man. It shows, like, we talk about fans and fans are tribal, fans are this and that. I think men's Achilles heel is love, bro. And once you love your club and stuff like that, the rationality doesn't seem rational, bro. It just doesn't make sense, bro. Like, look at how people will fight for Mikel Arteta because they feel like that's how you are a real fan. They fight for him like they're fighting for their dad. I'm like, bro, you know, this guy don't even know you. You can rate him if you want. He don't even know you, bro. Nor does he give a fuck about you. Even when, if he loses his job, you think he give a shit about you? He don't give a fuck about you. So why are you defending this man with every ounce of your being, like? It don't make no sense. But why? Because I love my club. I love my club. Okay, but you're the same love that you've been given to this club. They've been taking you for a mug for 21 years and taking your season ticket money and taking your shirt money. I learned real quick with my mates, I ain't investing in this club. You know what I mean? I'm not investing like that in this club because they don't give me value for the investment. They don't. I always love this club, but I ain't doing that. They've not earned that from me yet. I'm sorry, they ain't earned it from me. Once they do, I'll wear the shirts. I'll wear like the latest shirts and all that type of stuff. But nah, man, this club, it's not just this club, but this club can't finesse me. This whole family stuff, piss off. If I need your help, where were you? Do you know what I mean? I can't call you and ask you for a favor. You're not it's not my family. It's my football club. But they know that word family in most of our cultures, we can all be from different places. They know that the most important thing for all of us is family. So if they throw that out, you emotionally have a tie to it. It's my family. I got to back my family for the good and the bad. It's manipulation. It's manipulation. The club's not my family, bro. It's my football club. That's it. It's not my family. I can call my family down. I can't call this club for anything.
I feel like you know what happened was this whole finessing thing, right? It started towards the back end of the Wenger era. Like the last 10 years of Wenger was when the club really started to finesse the fans, convinced us that, you know, qualify top 4, you should be grateful to be in the Champions League. You know, you should be grateful to be competing whilst charging 100 quid a pop for a ticket, you know, dead games. And that carried on. Do you remember, like, it was only when fans started actually boycotting the Emirates and, you know, the seats started becoming empty that the club actually sat up and listened. And for me, I think this is the thing. This is where this whole love, having love for being in love comes from. Because being in love is just a fleeting experience. You know, that emotional spectrum just makes you lose all kind of rationality. Arsenal Football Club, I always say, we were founded in what 1886, 140 years ago. We've won 13 league titles, right? That's a league title every flipping 10 years. So we've already gone past the average. We're now 21 years deep. Right, 21 years deep, we haven't won the title. So when people say to us that, oh, you should be grateful, no, we were winning league titles every flipping 10 years in our history when you average it out. The problem is when Wenger took over, we were neck and neck with Man United in terms of league titles won. Only Liverpool were ahead of us. Fast forward 21 years on, we're falling so far behind, right? And we were one of the major clubs. The people used to call us like the Bank of England club, right? We're top club. So over the years, the club has weathered down our expectations and our ambition, and it's convinced the fans that accept mediocrity. Just competing in the Champions League is good enough. All these participation trophies. And I think the problem is Arteta's now come in operating from a low bar because of, at least when you look at Man United, you could say Fergie left them as champions, right? He left them when they were at the top. When, with all due respect to Wenger, much as I respect him, the last 10 years of Wenger was very painful. And it was this same fan base that propped up this guy. They propped him up and extended his stay. And he started winning cups to extend his stay, right? Signing contract after contract, not competing, convincing the fans that accept what I'm doing. You don't have a right to demand more, until the fans turned and said, no, we're not having this shit anymore. We're a big club before you joined us, and we'll be a big club when you're gone. With all due respect. For me, the way I see it, as a manager, you come in, you get 2, 3, 4 years, do your job, whether you win or not, piss off, another man comes in. That's it. You're here to win, right? There's no sentiments. You're a major club. You're very well paid. Don't try and manage your expectations and gaslight us into thinking that somehow your view of success and your measure of success is what should be accepted, when we've already tasted what actual success is, right? So, and we are in danger. The problem is we're in danger of falling into this spectrum if this carries on. And 21 years would easily become 30 years, 40 years. And then suddenly you're missing opportunity after opportunity. You're turning over the squad. This squad now has got probably another 2 to 3 years before it gets a turnover and needs to be rebuilt again. Gabriel Magalhaes is 28, right? He's probably got another year or two at the very top level, and he's going to start declining. Same with Rice. I would say Rice. So there is this danger. The club is really going to face some crossroads in a year or two with some of these players, and we can't afford to go into another rebuild and then spend another 4 or 5 years trying to build a title-winning team, and then when we finally get there, we miss out again because the teams who've got their house in order come along and snatch it. So I don't disagree. I totally agree with everything you're saying, North. I think this fan base, for me, Wenger's last 10 years perpetuated this problem. And this is not me disrespecting Wenger in any way. I think he's a legend. But Wenger started this whole accept the standards as it is. You can't demand more. Just be grateful that you're competing. And it's, just be grateful that you're there. Whilst we're getting hammered 8-2 Man United, I'm getting embarrassed day in, day out in games. Apparently he was even, Oxlade-Chamberlain went on the podcast and he said Wenger never even he never planned for the opposition. It was Arteta who came in and said, oh, Wenger, you know what, we need to do video analysis of the opposition. Like, we should do that.
I don't know if I fully believe that though.
Oh yeah, that's straight cap. It's straight cap.
It wouldn't surprise me because you remember the days on the Wenger. Sometimes we go to a game and we look punch drunk. Like in the first minute, we just concede some bizarre goal. This team Wenger was as good as Wenger was. He was not an in-depth tactician, right? The game had moved on. Now you've got all these new tactics, this emerging tactics that Arsenal Football Club for a long while, our methods were outdated, honestly. The football was nice, but it wasn't tactical. And
I
there was
hear
a
that.
reason
But I
for it.
don't. I hear that Wenger was kind of in the mode of Klopp, where he had one way of playing football, and he'll die on that hill. But that doesn't mean that, I wouldn't say Klopp doesn't do analysis of the opposition. Maybe it might be in a bit more of an outdated way, but I don't think so. I don't think so. To be fair to Wenger, even though I agree with everything you said about Wenger, I don't feel like the guy was a smart guy. Was he stubborn? Yes, he could be stubborn, but he's not stupid. And I don't feel like he wouldn't study the opposition. But I do feel like Klopp, even though he would study the opposition, he would also stick to his morals and his principles, by hook or by crook. It's the thing that made him great, but it's also his biggest enemy that he didn't adapt. So I don't know if I believe that story, if I be completely honest. But I
I,
do agree that maybe I do think I think his way of thinking became outdated. I think the way that he was doing things became a little bit outdated as well. Um, Even when he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry that Rob Holding didn't cost 50 million because we bought him for like 2-3 million, I think at the time I think it was from Bolton or something that we got Rob Holding." But
Paul Jenkinson.
yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, he was a very smart guy, but then he was a very stubborn. I think this is what I mean. I think Wenger became so in love with the club, not only because of how much money he was getting paid, because he was also one of the highest paid managers in world football under us as well. Let's not forget
yeah, of
that.
course. Yeah.
But I think he became so much in love with the club where everything was very personal to him. So it's like the hero becoming the villain. He was the hero of Arsenal. Then he became the villain. And I don't think he knew how to take that because he loved the club. And I feel like he took it like, "Oh, you lot are attacking me." But it's like, no, we're doing this for the betterment of our club. Do you get what I mean? Like, we can't, you've built a legacy and we're upholding the legacy in a way. I know it wasn't nice for him, but in a way, we're upholding your legacy of being a club that always challenge and always has to win major honors. That's what you got Arsenal back to being. And I think with Wenger, he was just too invested. He was here for so long and there was so much success at the start. But then those last 10 years, I think maybe to a degree, felt like he was doing us a good job in securing our finances, moving to the Emirates. But ultimately, he was wrong and we were right. He should have gone a lot longer. But I think now that time's gone by, I used to be like flipping Wenger, but now time gone by is like, I kind of I kind of understand it. I understand it. Him and David Dean, you know what I mean, and what they did at Arsenal was special at the time. But I get why. I think Wenger just couldn't let go. Remember, he rejected even moving to Real Madrid to stay here. I feel like he was just too attached. But this is where our club's got to be professional. We were so scared as a club to get rid of Wenger that we let him run everything. And I don't think a club should ever be like that. You should never let the employee feel like they can just run amok and do whatever they want. But this is why we stalled so much to get rid of Wenger. But we're doing the same thing with Arteta now. It's like we must hold on to Arteta. The mad thing is like Arteta's never given me one of the memories that Wenger gave me here. Not one. So it's like, why does he get all this protection? It doesn't even make sense. The Wenger stuff, I got it because it was nostalgia based. A lot of people seen their first league title, or second or third league title under Wenger. I got it. I got the attachment to Wenger. I get it because I was like that. It's like, how does Arteta have that level of influence? Let's be real. He has that level of influence without none of the achievements, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy how this club has fallen so far that they defend a novice like it's Wenger, like they don't remember, like that. It's just crazy. It's just mad. Like the way it's very cult like with this fan base. Like, and the last thing I'm gonna say before I let you lot go, the reason I have so much vim when it comes to this fan base is because if you don't call it out, it sticks with this fan base. All the bullshit sticks here.
Yep.
Your defense is in trouble. Arteta in the room, and Nketiah in the room. Arteta is an architect. We couldn't win the league because the Queen died. Couldn't win a game because it was raining. Oh, the VAR's against us. Referees are against us.
Man City cheating.
Man City cheating. Man City 115.
PGO.
Why is Peter Morel? Why is the referee? Why is that referee refereeing our game? He's always got it out for us. All
Why is
this
that
shit
all being
sticks.
used?
Do you know what I mean? Like all this shit, yeah, all the bullshit, yeah, sticks at this club. Everything sticks. All the bullshit. He needs his pieces. He needs his ingredients. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, I'm saying the stupid song now they play at the Emirates. It's got
North
fucking
London forever. That guy's
Pickpockets. Playing in the fucking dark at London Colney rather to develop a predator-like mentality. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Bro, that song is not an awful song,
team
bro.
talk.
I don't represent you.
But you see,
That
no,
song don't represent me, bro. This is what I'm saying. All the bullshit, bro. All the bullshit. Top four's a trophy. That shit stuck to the point where even, bro, this club used to flipping celebrate, not celebrate. I shouldn't say celebrate because I'll celebrate a trophy. But this club was content with only FA Cups. Now we're content with fuck all and calling it progress. Look how low before. I don't know what else needs to happen. I mean, the fan base showed a bit of balls when Wenger didn't get top four and then to kick him out and say, "You listen, we can't be not having Champions League." But I'm like, this fan base, it went from winning Prems to winning cups to winning nothing, and that's okay. That's fully okay in their heads. That's okay. It's acceptable. It's fine. Let's forget about what we was complaining about before. It's fine. We like FA Cups. We don't care about FA Cups.
Back at the stadium.
but no, what I was gonna say, right? This problem that we're facing, right, is remnants of the back end of the Wenger era. That set a bad precedent at this club. That was allowed to go on for so long. And me, I don't buy the whole notion that just because you won stuff in the past means that you get carte blanche, you get, free will to decide when you want to leave. I don't have the same sentimental attachment to Wenger because for me, for a long time, he was underperforming and he should have gone. He should have left this. He should have done the honorable thing and he should have gone, right? The reason why Man United can hire and sack managers because when Fergie left, they were at the top. They know. So that's the level. The reason why a lot of these fan base, right, they're happy with this level of competition is because they were used to the back end of the mediocrity that Wenger served at this club. So, and because we're doing so crap, weren't competing, winning cups, for some, this current, competing in the Champions League, etc., it's an acceptable return for them. And that's the problem. So I link this demise that we're going through to some of the things that happened towards the back end. As much as I have, I respect Wenger and what he did at this club, there was a cutoff point and we went well beyond it. So if we were winning titles, say up to the point where he left, I don't think people will have the same. People will look at the current thing and say, right, Arteta, you're not meeting that. Go. When Wenger left in 2018, 2019, his last title was 14 years ago. He should have gone a long time ago.
You are you're absolutely correct. I mean,
I agree, bro.
And frankly, he should have been potentially sacked in 2013, 2014 after we bottled that league, or just as well bottled it. Rather, should have been sacked after we had bottled it to Leicester in 2015, 2016. And it was in that year, I think. That Klopp was still available over at Borussia Dortmund, and we were linked with him as a potential replacement. But Wenger, you had made such great points. Everyone was making such great points about Wenger. I mean, for how intelligent he was also so stubborn and so happy to recycle all the stagnancy that was occurring. How was it that as fans we could see that for years all we were missing was a number 6 and a quality keeper, right? Because for years, we had rather well, and maybe even a center back as well. But but for years we always had a fairly potent attack. We always had a quality midfield. But it was that keeper situation because as you know, like we had Manuel Almunia, we had Fabianski, we had Vito Manone, we had I feel there was someone else before we got Chesney and Ospina, but but even still, we had such a hole in midfield that was not replaced. Rather, we did not replace Vieira, we did not replace Gilberto Silva, and I knew what time this club was on when they replaced Cesc with Mikel. That was probably like one of the greatest disgraces at the Emirates, replacing replacing not only a player but a captain to the level that Cesc was with someone who couldn't even get into the same room as him. That's bad. Politely.
No, I hear that, man. I hear that. But yeah, man, listen, big up, guys. I'm going to be on an emergency meeting with Lee in a bit. So I'm going to have a quick blem. And then after that, I'm going to do the Prem recap for today. So big up to all you guys. Yeah, I mean, big up Quadra, Half Volley, Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying? Macy.
Big up Northside.
Appreciate all you guys. I appreciate your time. So
big up.
Yeah, we're going to redirect.
You're blessed.
Gonna redirect.
Big up, man. Big up.
Big up Northside.
Smash the likes, you pagans.
Yeah. Set out always.
Northside raid, and I'll be there literally in 2 minutes. Love.
Bless up, G.